I'm a nerd, but I just feel it's a lot harder. Like you can have a think about
it.
it.
It's harder. No gi is harder for me than gi.
Yeah.
But I understand for the regular person, gi is way harder. So many different puzzles, so many different variables.
Exactly, right? But at the same time, I would say this, you know, when I talk to, we're live by the way, so one of the things that when I watch you grapple, and I've grappled against you, what's right? Oh, you're fine. Yeah. When I watch you grapple, you love the fucking ankle locks. You love, like, me and my wife are in bed watching you tear somebody's career away by tacking it, you know, heel hook, ankle lock, ACL, MCL, PCL. You will do that. And one of the things that I love that Cabrinha said was like, Mikey, stay on top.
Yeah.
You have beautiful jiu-jitsu. Your guard passing is good. Taking it back, forcing him to turtle, go armbar. It's almost like you neglect, I feel like 85% of your the skill set you have, because when we go, you pass my guard. I'm like, no,
I pass everyone's guard. Like my passing's honestly as good as my leg locks, if not better.
Yeah, and then
I pass the guard twice.
Yeah, and then you jump back to the fucking legs.
What happens to me is, I don't know if you realize, when I compete, I'm super, I just am so uncomfortable when I'm competing that I just want to feel that I'm winning. So in my brain, I'm like, okay, win rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah.
The second I won rounds 1 and 2, I submitted him like the first 20 seconds of the 3rd round because I'm like, all right, I already won.
So where does that come from though? Because you've been competing your whole entire life.
Even in IBJJF, I've always been like that. Like I always have to feel like I'm winning. And the only time you'll see me just fight is when I'm ahead on the score and I am free to fight.
Yeah.
Or if I'm losing.
But where does that come from?
Just being uncomfortable. Like that feeling of uncomfortable. And in training, I always just train like that, because I don't care. Like I'm just free. I don't have to think in my mind, oh, what if I give this scenario where he's gonna score?
Gotcha.
Which makes it really difficult to actually win a round with me. But it's annoying because I definitely could have finished a match significantly faster. I will say that in the beginning of this match, I had him in a really tight inside heel hook, and I really like Verison. I didn't want to break his leg. Yeah. Like, I really had a hard time with the Mongolian guy after that, like, in my mind. You
destroyed his fight. We've never seen him. For guys, if you guys don't know who he's talking about, Mikey used to compete at one championship, phenomenal grappler, and he fought a guy, a Mongolian guy, and he tore his shit to pieces. Like, you said, how many pops did you hear?
It was like 1,000 pops, dude. Every part of his leg. They said it was a catastrophic motorcycle accident after. They were, like shocked how many things in his leg were gone.
Yeah, his leg was just destroyed. And I never forget coming back to the hotel, because I think I did I commentated that fight.
Yes, you were there.
I was there, and I was like, Mikey's going to destroy this guy's whole entire leg. And Mikey was in the hotel lobby, sitting there, truly concerned about him. And then we came back, and Matt goes, yeah, his whole knee's gone. His whole knee gone. And I go,
Shashi messaged me, it's a catastrophic motorcycle accident. The doctors in Thailand were like shocked. They're like, this is insane.
Yeah, and then I told everybody, I was like, you'll never see that guy ever fight again, because you basically told. But here's the thing. Here's the devil's advocate. He could have tapped. He could have just went, that's when we grapple, you jump my legs, I'm done. Because I'm not playing that foot lock, ankle lock game with you, because you're just way better at it.
But I also don't ever explode. Like, I'll never do a submission, like a joint submission in training. Even in competing, I don't like to. Like a Toquinho old school.
Yeah.
I don't have that explosive bridge.
You said that.
I think I'm capable of doing it, but mentally I'm not.
Yeah.
I feel like that's horrible. So I got to the point where I'm fully extending the inside heel hook, and I know that if I just explosively bridge, like, his career is kind of in trouble. Like, ACL surgery, MCL. 6 months, a year, he can't work or make money. Like, why am I going to do that to this guy?
So do you think they should...
So I did 30% extension. I know I put some pressure on his knee. I hurt his knee a little bit. I definitely popped his knee, that scenario. Yeah. But I just got concerned. I did not want to hurt him. So in my brain, I just, like, catch, release, and then I moved on to another attack. Yep. I think I passed twice and made him turtle, but then I'm a bitch, so I just went back to bottom.
You went through I
could have went to I have so many cool things I do there, and just I think just the pressure and nerves just make me frozen sometimes. But I had the same problem in one, and that's why Shachi had me go to all the events with him, and like it got me like used to it. So I was just in a new environment.
Of course. Well, even when you fought your first time at fighting for the UFC Invitational.
Oh, super slow.
Super slow. You're going, but you also were battling something. I mean, you said
I have 3 ulcers.
Yeah, 3 ulcers in your stomach.
I still haven't gone away. Like, I'm still battling that.
That's because you don't stop training.
The stress. The training, but also the stress. Like, this was stress and pressure for me that I've never experienced, you know? It's not natural for me, this stress and pressure.
Yeah.
So I always have to like adapt my homeostasis, and I do a good job at it. Like I survive, but I feel like I'm dying a lot. But it's taking a toll on my body right now.
When are you gonna take time just to relax? When are you gonna go on vacation with your girlfriend? You got a girlfriend now. I saw you guys making out on the way out from. You're like, yeah, girl, you like that fucking tourist shit. Okay, when are you gonna take time, go on a vacation? I'll be back to grappling in 2 to 3 weeks. Just go on vacation.
I'm supposed to go to Hawaii next week.
Okay, and how long you be out there for?
Like 3 weeks.
Literally
what you just said. I think that's the play.
And how much grappling are you gonna do when you're out there?
Every day, probably.
Why are you gonna do that?
It's just I enjoy it. I love jiu-jitsu.
I know, but sometimes you gotta remove yourself. I mean,
I'm better at jiu-jitsu when I'm like that.
Yeah, but
Thailand was the best thing for me because it was so much more chill and like that sabai culture, like the Rotang vibe, where they don't even train. Like
that's chill.
Yeah, that vibe is honestly the best vibe for me. That's why I think I just got better when I lived in Thailand.
Yeah. See, you want to grapple, just grapple with her in the bed and do all that stuff, and then just sit back, because I feel you've had this time and time, like you train so hard, right? Yeah. You train so hard, and then your body gets broken down, and then when it comes to competition, you're just worn down, and then when you compete, I was
so worn down. But it felt like I was like flow rolling. Like it's like I felt like when I was competing with Ryerson that I was training with a friend that's visiting the gym, and you're having like a nice flow roll with him. I wasn't changing speeds. I was like really not moving like I usually do.
Yeah.
But I watched and then I was like upset. I'm like, fuck, that I fight like shit right now. Then I watched. I was like, okay, my transitions were at least cool.
Yeah.
Like it looked like I was like doing like good drills, like good movements.
Your movement was great.
Yeah. But it's just so much diminished compared to how I am in training, and that pisses me off. Then I'm like, I'm a bitch. Fuck.
It's not that. I think like I said.
But again, the last 30 seconds of the third round, 30 seconds in, I submitted him. That was more me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, I won already, and I just submit.
Well, I know the real you. I've trained with you, and I've seen you. Like I said, a lot of people don't. This is one thing I will say that's we got a lot to cover, but this is one thing I will say that I can appreciate that the UFC is giving.
Does this have caffeine in it?
Yes, it does.
Amazing.
Yeah, go ahead. Lock it up, baby.
Guys, just so you know. Oh, God, sorry.
Look at that. Yeah.
I'm already creating messes.
Shout out to First Form for keeping our man, Mikey, caffeinated up with that screaming freedom. Yeah, baby, come on in.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
The one thing I will say is that, okay, when people watch, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they don't know what's going on, right? Especially in the gi, they don't know what's going on. But in no gi, they kind of understand what's going on. So when you're attacking people's legs and you're attacking it, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm like me and we're like
but then they think I'm just hugging a leg. They're like, what the fuck is this?
I know.
It's really gay.
Well, I don't want to say that. I understand what's going on, and then I've seen you tear people's knees apart, right?
I feel like I'm the equivalent of a Muay Thai fighter. This is what I always say because I love watching Muay Thai in Thailand. I think it's the coolest thing ever. The guys that throw a lot of kicks, like a super leg.
Yep.
He just chops some Taiwan chai. They just kill the legs.
Yep.
So in my mind, I'm just slowly injured. I don't think I'm even going to submit the person in my brain. I'm never like, okay, I have it. It's done. In my brain, I'm just thinking, all right, I'm just chopping the legs, making them more and more less athletic.
Yep.
And then we can move on to the choke or whatever. Problem is, sometimes I get too fixated on that, and I'll just damage the legs and not move on.
Yep.
And then it's like, what the fuck, Mikey? Why are you not moving on?
That's why I thought it was great that Cabrini was in your corner, because I don't think you have anybody else around you.
I told them both. I told Durinho and Cabrini, be mean to me.
Yeah. Well, not me, but just...
I need that, though. I'm not... You can't just be like, good job, Mikey. You have to be like, Mikey, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Change it. Yeah. Like, I need that little kid energy, like yelling at your little kid that's like doing something wrong, like that.
Yeah.
That's what gets me to move. And I respect Cabrini and Durinho so much that when they tell me something, I definitely register it.
Thank you, baby.
Like when you, like Matt Hume, for example, he's a genius.
Yes.
So when he told you stuff when you're fighting, right? Like you could blindly just listen and you know that you're going to do something. It's not bad what he's saying.
Yeah. But
how many people can you actually blindly listen to when they tell you things in a fight, in that situation?
About 3.
But it's a tiny list.
Yeah, tiny list. Like James, my wife, maybe, and Tony and Matt. That's about it.
Because you know what they're saying. It will not lead to bad stuff.
Exactly. But get back to on track with the UFC getting into BJJ, and it gives the opportunity on that platform. I think there was like 75,000 viewers live when you're competing. Like while I was watching on YouTube, and it's given the opportunity to show the everyday person who watches it, like
it was 2.5 million views through all the platforms that
all platforms, right?
2.5 million.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you get 2.5 million people exposed to it where they're like, when they watch UFC and somebody gets taken down and they're like, oh, boo, boo. Yeah. It's like, this is what happens when you have one of the best in the world jump on your ankle. Like, lit Mikey on your ankle for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a normal person, he tears everything, try to go to the bathroom and walk. That's one thing I love about them getting behind it, because the platform is just massive. It's insane. It's absolutely massive. And you have the everyday casual who are not introduced into BJJ. They're not into it. Like my buddy he's watched me grapple, but he's never seen me grapple before. And he goes, why is homeboy attacking homeboy's ankle? I was like, he's trying to tear his ACL. He played football. And he goes, he's trying to tear what? I was like, his ACL. He goes, is that fucking legal? I was like, yeah. And in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he goes, I'm gonna let him on my,
because they don't realize how violent it is. They really don't. I got shit from this from like Craig. He was just messing with me. Yeah. But he was like pissed that I said, and everyone got pissed that I said, oh, limbs could fall off. Yeah. Does the limb actually come off the body? No. No. Will the skin rip and the limb amputates off? No. But parts of the limb start falling off.
Technically. Yes, it detaches from the bone, essentially, right? It detaches from ACL.
Was it extreme how I said it? Yes. But was I just trying to appeal to the MMA audience so they just understand what's happening? Yeah, so they need that like language, that like basic language of like, he's trying to break something. Yeah. He's trying to choke him and that could kill him. Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. If I don't,
obviously, jiu-jitsu people, we're like, no, the arm's not gonna come off.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You're catering to the everyday audience.
A different segment, right?
A different segment.
And that's what we're trying to do here.
Yes.
Yes. Because we already have our jiu-jitsu people. We're all addicted. We love jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Now we're just trying to get more people into it.
Yep. And I think that's the best thing that they're doing with the platform they have, because they have the everyday person who watches MMA, who fights and kicks and all that stuff, and they're not. Each time you see somebody go to the ground during a UFC event, 9 out of 10 times they're always booing, right? Yeah. So that's why I think it's good for UFC getting into it. Now let's talk about this belt. I want to talk about the whole thing. What came of you getting behind the UFC BJJ, right? Like you did the show. Yeah. What was that like?
Oh my God. So the show was amazing. First of all, a lot happened, right? From when we talked before I was supposed to fight Cade, right? Yep. We won championship. Then I had that lung problem where my lung almost ripped. If I would have done that match, I probably would have died. My lung would have collapsed, which is such a crazy thing to happen. Yep. I had medium stidum, I think it's called. I don't know if I pronounced it right. I'll probably get hate for how I just said that.
You know what? I get hate all the
whatever
fucking
we
time.
say, we're gonna hate. Yeah. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah. I had medium stidum. Then I got hospitalized, and I had a long talk with Shatri, who was basically my parent when I was living in Asia. Yep. And I was really close to him, and I thought it was better that I just stayed back in the U.S. at home with my family, because I was in Asia for 3 years. Yep. So we mutually just agreed, and he just wanted the best for me, you know. Yep. So I was really grateful for how much Shatri helped me. And my parents live like 15 minutes from UFC PI. Oh yeah, Los Angeles. 20 minutes. So it's right by my house, right? So then I met with Hunter, Claudia, and Techi, the guys from UFC, the people, and we made a plan, like, how can we grow this sport the most, you know? So I got behind this plan for them, that they were going to have divisions. We're going to have this Ultimate Fighter. We were going to do drug testing, everything that I wanted for our sport to grow, you know? And basically what Shachi was doing with one, like what we started with one, you know? And that's what I was so behind with one, like the drug testing, legitimate divisions, professional fights, not just amateur competitions, which are great. They build athletes, and we need those. So I'm not speaking bad about them, but I think that us having these professional things is what we need for grappling to actually become a professional thing, where people like your children could do that, right? Like, wouldn't you want them to do that more than MMA probably? You don't get hit by that. You had no brain damage, so you're the only person I can't ask this to. Your brain got better after doing MMA.
That is true.
But who could say that?
Not many.
I just realized when I said that to you, I'm like, wait, this is the person I'm talking to right now. His brain got better after he did MMA. No, that doesn't happen to anyone.
I'd rather them play, if they're going to do a sport, I'd rather and be a professional, I'd rather do like football, basketball, baseball.
Way more money in that
Way more money in it, right? And it's, you know, MMA and jiu-jitsu stuff. Okay, you know.
Well, I'm just saying, jiu-jitsu, at least there's no brain damage at all. So if, like, for example, when I'm a parent with kids, I would not. If my kid wants to do MMA, I'd be like, fuck no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, of course, with your technique and speed and like how insane you place your body, how you never get hit, that's one thing. But then how can you bank on your kid having that same speed and ability to never get, like, I would just be horrified. I would just be like, do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing too.
I'm getting more energy now, guys. I had caffeine.
He's off.
I only had 2 hours of sleep last night. So my ADHD is a little more mellow right now.
Yeah.
But as I drink this caffeine, like, I'm getting better. Like, I'm going to be a little more hyper soon.
Coco's gonna be driving home. He goes, Mikey, you gotta calm down. He goes, give me more caffeine now. Fucking tear your leg now. No, I think
we trained this morning too. Me and Coco trained 2 hours.
See,
this morning.
you gotta. Can you tell him to fucking stop training?
Coco, first of all, Coco is my best friend. He lives in Japan and he's competing tomorrow in American Nationals.
Oh, are you?
So he helped me.
Or gi?
Of course.
Wait, what the fuck's up with you no-gi boys, man? When you guys gonna put the gi on and start whooping ass in the gi?
First of all, Mighty Mouse, if he did no-gi with us, he would beat like a lot of the people I compete with. He's really high level no-gi. Gi just takes longer for you to develop your game because it's just a different skill than what he's used to, right? But I would like you to compete more no-gi.
Nah.
A lot of guys I fight, like, you're like, fuck up.
I don't want to start attacking people's legs. I'm 38 years old, be 39. I got time to get my.
Good though. Like your body, you have the perfect body type for defending leg locks.
I don't want to defend a fucking leg lock. That's the problem. Like when people jump in my legs, I'm like.
But my friend Coco's competing tomorrow, and he helped me. So every tournament, you're always with us. You see, Coco's always with me.
Yeah, always with you guys.
Like, he's literally the person that's with me every competition. He's my best friend, and he helped me so much for this competition. He came all the way from Japan here.
Yeah.
So he's competing in American Nationals tomorrow. So I only got 2 hours of sleep. I woke up. I'm like, I'm here for you. Let's work.
Yeah.
So
well, good luck, Coco. I know you're gonna kill it out there. So, okay, let's get back on track. So when you talk,
I give Coco some love while we were talking. Now we can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. Like, I love Coco. He passes my guard. He's hard. I have to start punching him in his stomach to open his fucking guard.
You gotta slap him sometimes.
No, I don't slap him. I just push hard in his stomach. He goes, oh, that hurts. That hurts. I'm like, open a fucking guard. Okay, now let's talk about this. Now, a lot of people say, you know, what UFC's doing isn't growing the sport of mixed martial arts because.
Why do we get so much hate, dude?
I think it's because of the non-exclusive contracts. People, they want non-exclusive. A lot of people, I think the reason why people are hating on it, and I'm going to give my piece on it, and I want to hear you speak about it.
Yes, I have a cool insight.
They don't like that now, if you sign with the UFC, BJJ, you cannot do any other grappling tournaments, which is BJJ Stars, Who's Number One, CJI, ADCC. And for me...
But you know, IBJJF was at this event. I think they might be signing with UFC soon.
Yeah, which is fine. Which
means that IBJJF will be clear for people in UFC.
Yeah, but a lot
Polaris, Karate Combat, these all UFC Fight Pass things.
Yeah, but I also feel that an athlete has a choice.
Yeah.
An athlete has a choice to say, okay, hey, even for me, when I fought in WEC, before I jumped into WEC, this was back in 2000, I think.
I grew up watching you in WEC.
Boy. So when I had the opportunity, I could have went to Shuto. I could have went to Japan to fight. I could have done other organizations. The reason why I did it is because they weren't paying anything. They weren't paying anything. The only place I was paying was WEC. So I signed with WEC. I signed an exclusive contract to fight there, right? I fought there. UFC bought there. Worked my way up. Made six figures. The history, you know, that's the history of it, right? So now when I look at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I looked before we started this interview, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has been around since 1998. That was our very first ADCC. Google could get...
IBJJF Worlds was 1996, I think.
1996. That's IBJJF, right?
Yeah, ADCC 98.
98, right? That's the very first time. Jiu-Jitsu has been around for a very, very long time. There's been different places have tried to get to a point where they can actually keep on doing event after event after event and paying the athletes, right?
And they all go bankrupt.
Yep. This is the first time that I know in history that a company like UFC is coming behind it and one championship as well. One championship behind
and that's
it too.
why one deserves so much recognition too.
Yeah, they were the first. They were the first.
Chachi was the first one that even give people good money and pay consistently.
Consistently, right? Now you have another player in the game, which is UFC,
which is great for the market having multiple players.
Yes, but this is what happens. At one point in time, one championship did have exclusive contracts.
Yep.
You cannot go grapple here and here and here, right? Now, from what I heard, you know, Tom DeBlassie says they dropped that. Now
the rule at one is if you don't have the belt. I had the belt, so I couldn't do this.
Exactly.
But if you don't have the belt, you're able to compete in other organizations.
Yeah.
Just when you get the belt, you're exclusive.
Yeah. Right. So there's an exclusive part there. Now in UFC, if you sign with the UFC, it's exclusive. Now an athlete has a choice. Let's say okay, I'm grappling at the UFC. UFC goes, hey, if you compete with us, you have to sign this exclusive contract. We're going to pay you 10 and 10, whatever it is. I don't know what the pay is. You can't grapple anywhere else. I have the choice to say, you know what? I don't want to do that. I'm going to wait for CJI. I'm going to wait for ADCC. And when I compete for CJI, I might get 5,000. I might get 6,000. It's one time a year. I can't do it. You know, I'd rather have like Andrew Tackett. He was like, you know what? I'm going to go with UFC BJJ. He won a championship. He's the first ever welterweight. Yeah, welterweight champion. He made that choice, right? And I feel for...
He's incredible, by the way.
He's fucking good.
I've been hanging out a lot with him in Vegas. He's awesome.
How's that grappling match go between you two?
He's incredible.
Yeah.
He's scary.
I know he's bigger than you, but...
But no, he also like, he trains really nice. Like, he doesn't... Like, a lot of those people I'm scared to train with that size.
Yeah.
You know, because they could be so brute, and he trains nice. He moves. He's so technical. Like, he's safe.
Yeah.
He's the same bigger guy for me.
Yeah, and I feel when it comes to point, like, an athlete has a choice. And so I think if an athlete wants to sign an exclusive contract, and for you always been outspoken about, I want clean drug testing. When the other competition, they say they don't, obviously 1A drug test, but you look at the other competition, they say do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. So it's like I have this struggle, and me and Michael were talking about, it's like the sport's been around forever. Now that somebody's coming into the play and giving exclusive contracts that you guys have the option to sign or don't sign, you guys are getting a lot of hate for that. And so what's your feedback? Because I would love to give Craig Jones the opportunity to tell me why it's bad for the sport. For me, I'm like, dude, you can wait around for 5 to 6 to 8 to 10 years and never have a company come in. It's always non-exclusive. You have these guys going around fighting everywhere.
You have these random events that have money randomly with an investor, and then they lose all their money. Then it goes on to the next one.
Then it goes on to the next one. It goes on to the next one. And
is that good for our sport?
I don't know, because I truly talked to somebody.
But isn't that selfish though? Because people then could just make money in the short run, but then that for next generations, they don't have that stability of an organization that could actually make them have money. Yeah, that's why I love this.
Yeah, but here's the question. Does the short stability, so you said, does that person who does a short stability, do they actually make money? Well, if history repeats itself, they typically lose money, because that's why they don't keep on doing it, right?
I agree.
Right, and so for me...
No, but I'm trying to give them some wiggle room of their logic now.
I agree with you.
I completely am against that logic. I think that, obviously I'm against that logic, but I'm just trying to be on that side a little bit. Like to understand what they're saying. So maybe they can make a quick... couple thousand in one of these tournaments that goes out bankrupt quickly, and move on to the next one. And then they have to just bank on them popping up over and over and over.
Well, it's funny you say that, because before we jumped on the show, I had a conversation with somebody who's been part of the sport as a competitor. He has his own brand that he supports a lot of athletes in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in gi and no gi, and he said that it's very interesting that you bring this up, because what you just said about, you have a rich guy who comes into the sport and he goes, I'm going to pump all this in. He does 2 or 3 events. He doesn't make his money back.
He's going to lose a few million for sure.
And then he leaves. And then the sport's back to here and here. Now and he was like, dude, I'm happy that the UFC is in it, because you have a stable place where athletes, you have a stable place where athletes who come there. Yes, there's an exclusive contract in place for people, but I think in the long run, I hope it's good for the sport. So what's your piece on, this is a long tangent run, what's your piece on when it comes to, would you like it to be non-exclusive, or you're like, hey, it is what it is? If we're going to make this happen, we all have to be exclusive. What's your piece?
For example, one championship. They spent millions of dollars in marketing and investing in me and the Rutolos, right? Like building our brands, and they did an amazing job. Like, again, I'm so grateful for what they did for my brand. But why did they do that? Because we were exclusive to them. Why would you spend millions of dollars to build somebody's brand that's just going to go compete in a random organization that has and they get you for free? Why would you do that?
You wouldn't.
But this is why I'm so confused. It makes no sense. And I get so much hate for saying that. Like, what is the logic of that? Like, if I'm UFC, for example, and I'm putting millions of dollars into this project, and I probably will lose a few million. They have the money to lose, but they have to start off losing money to gain.
That's how an investment goes.
It's a legitimate company that can lose some money and then work their way and build their product, right? So if they're spending millions of dollars to market and build us, I want to go do who's number one and give a random person that has no followers, maybe 5,000 followers, a chance to compete with somebody with so many followers that UFC just built up. who benefits from that?
Yeah.
Who's number one?
So then who benefits from the exclusive contracts? Like it's that's why I like this conversation, because I agree with you. If I'm going to invest, I don't know, $2 million into the MIGHTYcast,
yeah,
I'm not just going to loan out my IP to anybody, right? Like it's got to make sense for the business standpoint. So I understand the whole exclusive and non-exclusive.
Like if there was like this, like for example, if I'm with UFC, for example, and there was somebody that had like 20 million followers and was so famous and marketable that wasn't with UFC, maybe they would let me do a match with that person, right? Because they would grow me. That UFC is not growing me, right? Like, for example, one championship when I was with CGI, I almost did a match with Volkanovski in grappling.
I remember that,
And Shachi was okay with that because
it's
obviously Volkanovski is so famous, right? That would grow one championship's brand. So that was a mutual fair thing in that scenario. But if it's one-sided where where the organization that's putting millions of dollars into you is getting slighted, where it's just gain for the other people and not for them, is that really fair for them? You know, that's why I don't think that I'm really not for like this, like jumping from different organizations. Like I think that we're better off having like what we did at MMA with exclusive, like, and we have a major organization and we have legitimate fights, professional fights, drug testing, everything. And then also the problem with the drug testing. How are you going to, if one organization is not doing drug testing, and the other one is, now you could just go to another organization, do all these steroids stuff, and be like, oh, he's exclusive, he won't fight me, and talk shit like this. But the truth is, you can't come to my organization because you can't pass a drug test.
I think what people are scared of is that it's almost like mixed martial arts all over again. Because when you look at, you know, the landscape of MMA, people are saying there's nowhere to go fight, right? Nowhere to go fight, right? It's the UFC is the biggest player. They pay the most money, where there's other organizations, UFC in one championship.
But how much did they grow our sport, UFC?
I mean, it's sport's massive. I mean,
it's literally like NFL, NBA now, UFC. But back in the day, was it like that?
No, it wasn't.
So people that hate on UFC, like if you look at how much our sport's grown, it's because of UFC. So they hate what?
No, it's true. It's like the brand is
and
so
you're a big
big.
part of that also, by the way. I'm just
no. But I mean, like they're so. It's a marketing machine. It's a marketing machine, and you want the best marketing machine to get behind a sport to grow it, right? I mean, you look at what.
How can we have a bigger marketing machine than the UFC growing grappling?
I don't know.
How can we?
You can't.
But then everyone's pissed. But the thing is, Craig and me were supposed to do Ultimate Fighter together.
Yeah, I saw he came with that.
And we were gonna fight each other at the end. And then he didn't get the deal that he wanted or whatever from UFC. And then he went with Flo. But it was just a business thing for him. He went with where he made the most money for himself. Just like everyone's doing. No, but good for him. He made money. But that's what this is all coming down to. The people that are fighting like, oh, I'm for this person, I'm for this. Everyone at the end of the day is just independent, trying to make the most money for themselves. And that's what you're supposed to do. So that's all I have to say about that. I think it's really annoying when people come at me, pissed at me, like I'm a sellout. Like I'm being called all these terms. I'm just trying to give us a stable platform.
Well, I think you've always got this type of hate. Even the first time we had you on the MIGHTYcast about when you were doing all the stuff in IBJJF and then you went and did no-gi.
And everyone's pissed at me for doing that. But I keep doing that, you know, and I keep going against what everyone's doing. And I really feel like look, when people look at my career in the future, they'll look at me and be like, wow, he really was on the right track for grappling to make it the biggest it could be.
Well, and I think my feelings on that is that I feel that if you wait, right, and you wait and you're not going to sign an exclusive contract, you might miss on an opportunity of getting that stable paycheck, right? You might
see 6 events a year. So, okay, maybe if you're on steroids, you can compete more because your body recovers. I'm not trying to compete more than 6 times a year. My body cannot handle, like what we're talking about, the ulcers. My body's fucked up. So how am I going to do, like, and that's the argument that, oh, you could compete every weekend if you're not exclusive. Okay, good for you. Go on steroids, compete every weekend. Like, I can't recover that fast.
But how much money would you make if
Probably
you
not.
So that's
you're just banking on those going out of business events, and you're just trying to make random unsustainable money instead of 6 sustainable events with the money marketing machine that UFC has backing you to grow your brand. I think I've gotten like 25,000 followers in the last like 12 hours for my fight, which is pretty good.
I would say so.
Like, so UFC is doing an insane job, you know, like they really are growing my brand. I just did the Ultimate Fighter. Like I'm really grateful to them. You know, I'm grateful to Hunter, you know, and I'm just, again, I really do feel like I did the right things. Like I've been doing the right things in my career, and for the future of grappling, for other people to follow me instead of just getting stuck in IBJJF or doing things where they're not making money and their people are so good, and then they just waste their time doing something where they're not making money or getting the recognition.
Yeah. 5 years later, Mikey's got a fucking Ferrari. He's got a like dope ass. He goes, "What's up, boys? It's Mikey Musumeci. You know, I want an exclusive way. I want an exclusive contract. Look at this fucking Bugatti. Look at all this drug free abs, all natural." No, I knew it. It's funny. Like I had Alex Volkanovski on here, and he was talking about, you know, drugs, steroids in competition. He goes, just don't do it and have a clean playing field. So I agree with you. Like I want,
and it's still insane how much hate I get for being against steroids.
You know,
it's just so crazy to me. Like maybe it's just I don't understand this. I feel it's just so frustrating. You know, like. I'm against steroids. Like, how dare I be against steroids? How dare I be against a sustainable platform for people to make money, you know?
Yeah.
And then...
Now, you said 6 events. I'm sorry to cut you off. You said 6 events. 6 events of UFC BJJ?
Yes.
Or are they still going to do the Invitational?
No, just UFC BJJ. It's a new product now, completely new.
Just
last night was the start of the new product.
Gotcha.
And that's what I was waiting to do.
Yeah.
So that match in December I just did because I was going insane not competing.
Gotcha.
So I just had the lung thing.
Yep.
And I had the ulcers.
Yep.
And I just was like going crazy. I was like, I got too many canceled matches this year with one because I was supposed to fight Baby Shark like 4 times.
Yeah.
I was supposed to fight Cade, canceled. So I'm just like, I got to compete. And I just did that match with the old rules, which I thought were shitty.
Yep.
And the old setup that was shitty. And we knew that was like not the final product, right?
Yeah.
So this was the start of the new product that we were working on since then.
Yeah. Well, some people might say that you guys copy Craig Jones's The Pit, the bull.
First of all, oh yeah, we have a bull, not a pit.
Yeah.
Understand that.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
No, for sure. Like, first of all, Craig got that from Karate Combat. Like,
oh yeah, it's Karate Combat. Yeah.
Like, he didn't like wake up one day, guys, we're gonna do. I
fucking forgot that because Karate Combat had that, and they've done
also a UFC Fight Pass. No.
Yep, they've done Karate Combat has done grappling matches. I remember Craig Jones did that flying triangle off there.
Yeah.
And then he did
the one where he drank like the alcohol, right, or something. Like,
that's when he fought Gabby at CGI. That was amazing. And then now UFC has the bull instead of the pit.
But honestly, hear me out.
Yeah. I think we're all hearing you out here, Mikey.
No, so definitely Craig had a great idea with CGI. He had a great product with what he did with the pit, with the 10-point must system, the 3 rounds.
Yep.
And when I went to UFC and we talked about the rules, I said, guys, this guy Craig, he did an amazing job with how he ran that event. It was way more exciting. I love the matches. Let's look at what is actually exciting in jiu-jitsu. What can we lead to the finishes faster?
Yep.
And make it happen.
Yeah.
I just came from one championship, and in one championship, it's about catches, submissions.
I've been outspoken. I don't like the catches.
But hear me out. I wanted a CGI with a one championship twist. Yeah. Obviously, positional dominance is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But with more of a base looking for submissions for the rounds.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like CGI, but more of a submission-based mindset.
Yeah.
So a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And I think that twist is why last night, out of 8 matches, there were 7 finishes.
Wow.
I've never seen a grappling card like that. And even on the show when I was watching, all the matches, most of them were finishing. It's very hard for this format not to yield a finish. Another reason why and that's why I loved what Craig did. And he deserves recognition for that, like, because he got it from ACB. Remember ACB? I don't know if you were watching jiu-jitsu back then. Probably not.
Probably not. I've heard of ACB.
It was this Russian organization. I know for MMA they have something, but they were doing grappling back then, and they were doing the rounds, the 3 5-minute rounds.
Oh, gotcha.
Just like Craig did
in his thing.
Yeah.
And for me,
Craig took 2 good pieces from Karate Combat and the ACB and put it together in one.
Yep.
But he didn't just like it was his idea doing that.
Yeah.
But everyone is just taking good ideas from each other, right?
Yeah. Nobody has patenting, licensing is like, you can't do that. That's I already licensed that. That's my trademark.
But I'll always say Craig definitely helped us grow our sport, and I respect him so much for that.
Yeah. Well,
I say that just so he doesn't murder me online, maybe. But I respect him so much for that. And I respect him so much for that. Yeah. Well, I say that just so he doesn't murder me online, maybe. I say that just so he doesn't murder me online, maybe. I say that just so he doesn't murder me online, maybe. That guy's fucking horrifying online. Craig has a surveillance camera on every human every hour, ready to just like kill you.
Yeah, I don't think he does, but I think for him,
every week I go to this place, like I get a massage, like just for like knots and stuff, because I'm always beat up my neck, my back, and it's Thai place.
Yeah.
So then Craig had someone film me going into this Thai place and posted it, like I'm getting like a happy ending or something. No, but that's what I mean. Like it was really creepy. Like a random film, like I randomly got filmed, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean. He has surveillance on us at all times.
Maybe
Don't
on
mess
you,
with that guy.
not on me. I'm in good cahoots with Craig.
I need to get massages. My neck is messed up.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
do you get a lot of knots?
I don't. No.
Really?
No. Well,
maybe you're inverting and stuff. I always get like these crazy ones in my chaps.
Yeah.
And then it goes down like my rhomboids, and this is just messed up always.
Well, you train more than I do. Remember we talked about this.
Yeah.
I take time off.
You don't have any brain damage. You have no injuries. You're just healthy.
Yeah, I train 2 or 3 times a week in the gi, and that's it. Other than that, it's straight conditioning, swimming.
Also, like healthier things for your body.
Healthier things for my body, where you're just running your body to the dirt.
I have to start doing more of that.
Yeah, you need to.
I have enough jiu-jitsu. Now I just have to do healthy things.
Just take when you go to Hawaii, I want you to take 3 weeks off and not doing any grappling.
You have to message me every day, Mikey. Don't fucking train.
I ain't your fucking dad. I ain't doing that. I'm not. Coco, you message him, let him know that. You tell his girlfriend, relax. Let him have some time to relax. Okay, let's get back on track. Now, you just competed for UFC BJJ, first champion. When's the next time that you're going to be able to compete? Like, how are you guys going to have divisions? How many people are in your division? Like, what's the whole premise behind this? Like, are you guys going out there looking for athletes? How does that work?
Yeah, so basically, when I spoke to Hunter from UFC, we talked about all the exclusive athletes and stuff, and basically they're gonna build a few divisions. They'll have a bunch of divisions. I think my division's 135. Then they have a 155, 170, a 185. They're gonna have, I think, a 205 and a 220. Like they're gonna have a bunch of divisions.
Damn.
Like I don't know exactly which ones, but don't quote me on that. But something like that.
Yeah.
And what they want to do is, again, they want to build their program, and it might take 10 years to build their program with these non-exclusive people that don't want to be a part of this. Good for them. I hope they make money. I wish the best for them. But what we're doing, we're going to make our own program, have our exclusive athletes in our world and program, and make them into stars.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be a part of that, don't complain. That's on you. Don't complain. We have a multi-million-dollar company investing in us and helping us grow our brands. And if you are pissed at us for getting our brands being built, join the brand. That's on you. Like literally, it's that simple. If you're not on the brand, good for you. Don't complain. Just focus on making money in your random organizations. I think that's the play. I think that's the mentality that I have. And it's like, okay, I'm not against the people that don't want to be exclusive. I hope you make money. I wish the best for you. Grow our sport in other ways.
Do you think that's going to come to a point in time where there will be no other no other organizations to compete with that, right? It's like almost like if you have, imagine this, like let's say you have.
But isn't that like, if that happens, doesn't that mean that UFC is giving so much money to athletes that the grapplers are just like, guys, we have to go there to make money. All the best grapplers are there.
Yeah. But what ends up happening, this is what people think might happen, right? Is that let's say they got Andrew Tackett, they get Levi Jones, they get him, for some reason they get Kay Bertolo, they get all the best grapplers in the world in the UFC, right? And let's say you guys are making 10 and 10 or whatever it is, right? And then, who's number one? BJJ Stars. Well, BJJ Stars is more gi. You have CJI, you have ADCC. Nobody else, you get Baby Shark, you get Mika Gavoa, you get all those guys on the UFC contract. Then all these other organizations, they're like, we have no good grapplers, we get no sponsors, we have no more money, we've got a business. Then when you guys are on the UFC.
Were any of those organizations making money to begin with, though?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to.
Or are they just all losing money?
I don't know. I don't know the books, right?
But what I'm saying is, like, is how grappling is right now, is it actually successful for these organizations that they're making profit and money?
That's a question we have to ask them, because I don't know.
I would argue that a majority of them are not.
Okay, so
maybe ADCC for sure, like their viewership and everything, they did a great job. But I'm just saying, like, majority of them, I doubt are really making money. I would bet most of them are just losing money.
Yeah. So then,
like all these organizations, like CGI and these organizations, did they make a profit from what they did, or did they lose money?
Yeah.
So my question is that success if you're just losing money and it doesn't yield money?
As an investor, I would say it's not a success, because if I loan somebody $1 million, I want at least 10%.
And does that yield any profit for you if it yielded nothing? Like
no, I wouldn't invest my own money in that.
Yeah, like,
I wouldn't.
Maybe you have billions or trillions of dollars.
Even if
a casual million.
If I was a fan of the sport, maybe, and I have money, I just piss
but
away.
But then you get bored and move on to something else.
Exactly. I would rather invest my money in like NVIDIA, Palantir, all that stuff, because I know I'm gonna get a return. I know I can watch it and I can see the company grow.
Absolutely.
But if these organizations go away and you guys are all in the UFC, then eventually they're like, hey, you know what? You were making 10 and 10. You're gonna start making 5 and 5. You're gonna start making 3 and 3.
Oh, they start lowballing people.
They could eventually, but then you have no other place. That's what I think everybody's afraid of.
And then it's a monopoly, and now they have full control of screwing people.
That's what I think everybody's afraid of. Because I think at one point in time, if somebody says, if the UFC was like, hey, this is what you guys are gonna get. Everybody's gonna get, 30 and 30, just like in fighting, right? You get guys coming in the UFC who are making 14 and 14.
But then you're saying it's more of like a communist setup, right? Where everyone's getting the same thing, like kind of.
No.
Socialism, socialism, right?
I don't know.
I don't
want to go to those words.
I thought you already just messed up. Now that Mikey doesn't understand anything.
I think that's what everybody's afraid of.
I was up 2 hours last night. Give me some slack. I'm on just caffeine and adrenaline right now.
No, I think that's what everybody's afraid of, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to exclusive, because they're saying, somebody said it's like mixed martial arts back in the day, where now you look at MMA, there's nowhere else to go compete. And if you do go somewhere else to compete, the money's not the same. They call it a monopoly. Where for me, and I talked to multiple people. I talked to one athlete, he goes, you don't have to sign that contract. He was like, he goes, I didn't have to sign the exclusive contract, but guess what? I did. Because guess what? Nobody else is paying fucking nothing. So I did it. He made a lot of money. He's out of the sport. He's retired now. And he was like, it is what it is. Like, you're still going to sign that contract. So I feel for a guy in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu where BJJ's been around for a very, very long time, nobody was making money.
Yeah, no one was.
And then now, from my viewpoint, you got guys like you, Andrew Tackett, whoever else is signed with UFC BJJ, an exclusive contract, meaning you can't go compete anywhere else, which means I know you don't want to go compete anywhere else because nobody else is going to do the drug testing.
Yeah.
But you're happy with that. And obviously Andrew Tackett's happy with it as well, whereas a lot of people out there are saying that this is going to be the downfall of BJJ because...
But isn't it the downfall just for people on steroids and they're just pissed that now they actually have to get drug tested and their whole life was just taking steroids and now they're like screwed, their whole essence of life is screwed?
I don't know. I feel like I need to do like a Mikey versus somebody here, and I'm the mediator for the mediator, because it's like I love jiu-jitsu. I love it. It's my new passion. It's what I do now. But
I don't want to sound like I'm like, this is the way and there's no other way. No. I respect the other side. And I just want everyone to make money and to be the most successful they can be in their lives. That's all I care about. And I feel like this is one option for people to do that. And I think it's a chance for maybe someone that wouldn't have that opportunity if they did the other path to get more in this path.
I think what you just said, I feel like you are like trying to be a pioneer and you've done so many different things and you're like, I feel like this is the best option. Doesn't mean it's the correct option. Just
I don't know.
You don't know. But and
I'm not like, and I think that's what I want people to understand, that I'm not like this insane, like this is the only option. Like, I'm not that guy. Please, I'm in peace. I want you guys to make money, whatever makes you guys the most money.
Yeah, and I feel that where you're like this, because somebody might say, oh, what Mikey's doing is
selfish.
It's killing the sport and selfish. Somebody else might say what Mikey's doing is amazing.
Yep.
Like, it's amazing that he's really rallying for the drug testing, no steroids, none of this, the exclusivity, having a multi-million-dollar company.
I think parents with children would more be on my side with what I'm trying to do.
1,000%, right? So I think that's what I said. I view you as a pioneer you feel like you're doing the right thing to grow the sport in BJJ. And there's always going to be somebody in the back end like, oh, he's fucking killing it. Yeah, he's destroying the sport. What he just did, great. Now we're all screwed. But I always say, BJJ has been around for a very, very long time. And now that finally somebody, and me, Michael, would you agree with me on this? Michael, because I don't want people just getting at me. What do you think, Michael?
What are you saying? What I think about what?
About what we just talked about, goddammit. Even I've been listening to anything? Mikey, but Michael.
Okay, so you are one of pound for pound the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artists in the world. So for UFC to make an investment, use a no-brainer, right? But now this becomes, what is it going to be for people who maybe aren't literally the best? And then once it gets to a point, and this was a point DJ made that was good, is if they become a monopoly and Craig Jones is like, fuck, I can't afford CJI anymore. Then it's like, hey, we don't have as much money because now we can control the prices. That's the worry I think that people have. And I think that's a valid concern, yeah. So you should want CJI to be there because we need competition, right? Competition is how you guys get paid more. So the worst thing that could happen is Craig Jones is like, I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it anymore. No investors.
You're like, did you have money to begin with?
Was it real money?
Was it real? That was a great counter argument.
Were these organizations just random money that they got that they just all lost money and they just gave it to the athletes, but it was just fake money? That to me does not mean like it's a successful, sustainable organization, right? So
yeah, that's a good point.
So how do we bank on that for our future of grappling? That there's just going to be more and more random ones that just keep popping up and giving money to people. I think that's dangerous for us to bank on. I'd rather us have this safe multi-million-dollar company that could build my brand and build other people's brands, right? Competing with me. I know, for example, jiu-jitsu has been around so many years, right? Since 1996, 1998. Those two numbers.
That's when I looked on Google. Yes.
Was it successful those years with athletes making money? No. We're finally in a point where we have people coming in. Yeah. So our sport has grown so much. Now let them come in and let us make money. Let us have people come in to challenge me and they could grow their brand challenging me, having rivalries, all these different things. All I know is, for example, how are you going to become a star in IBJJF if there's no big name there for you to beat?
You can't.
So you'll win Black Belt Worlds 5 or 6 times, which is one of the hardest things to do. And you're just stuck with no followers, no anything. Mm-hmm. And maybe the jiu-jitsu nerds, like the people in, will know who you are, but it's just very limited, right?
Yeah. And the only thing I'll say too is like, even we look at this right here, and Canelo Crawford, right? There's this title that is being presented as this is the boxing title. That's TKO. They own WWE. They own UFC. Here's this new title where this title becomes.
Oh, and by the way, people were talking shit about like how this belt was. I'm just saying it's actually really cool in person. Yeah. Like,
oh no, this. I'll be honest. This is a sick, really sick title.
Guys. So maybe the picture like threw us off a little bit, like just the picture by itself. But when you actually see the belt in person, like holy shit, this is cool. Sorry.
But no, yeah, it's my point is it's very smart for TKO that they want. Here's the one boxing title that matters. Here's the one BJJ title that matters. I think that's kind of where the monopolistic talks.
And I think that Shotzi was such an innovator with that as well, with one championship, having all the different disciplines of martial arts. Absolutely. And I think that that's so great that other organizations want to try to grow that as well. Yeah. Like growing martial arts.
Yeah. Well, I always like to have Michael come in because he is very passionate about combat sports. He's very passionate about the athletes making as much money as possible. And I always like a viewpoint. I like to sit down at a table and have that talks because it's one of the things that it's very confusing because like you said, do you wait around? And it's like I said, it's been around forever. Now that there's actually a platform that's getting behind it to give you guys, a platform to grow your brand because that's
6 events a year. That's pretty consistent.
That's consistent. And it's not like the check's going to bounce. It's not like you guys aren't
We're drug testing for me. Thank God.
Yeah, for you. It's very, and when I hear somebody else goes, it's killing the sport. And I'm like, how though? And so when he tells me, he goes, well, you got to think about this. And then you're like, well, is that real money? Are they making money? How long are they keep footing the bill for this? Right. So it's a very unique talk. And I wanted to talk to you about it. And I think it's cool.
It is really interesting, this talk. And, again, I just want everyone to make the most money they can in our sport to grow. And I do feel like I'm on a cool path, and I'm the only person that's won the belt in Who's Number One.
Yep.
One championship and UFC, which are the 3
biggest
professional. And at the time, each of them were the biggest, right?
Yep.
So I'm probably the only person that could like talk about this.
The pioneer.
And I've been on that wave of us growing each professional organization, and all of them had a good job of doing that.
Yeah.
So I've been a part of this, and Flow Grappling has exclusive contracts as well. Yeah. One has exclusive as well for the champions.
Yeah.
So why does UFC get so much shit if all these other people are doing it?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I said the exact same thing, and I said, oh, now that the UFC's in it and they have a lot of money to burn or whatever. Now everybody's making the fuss, and that's what when I was giving him more. That's why I love having him because he comes in with a viewpoint of like, He worked at ESPN for a very, very long time. Loves basketball. He's
very knowledgeable.
He's very knowledgeable.
But he has passion too. Yeah.
He has passion, but he has no skin in the game.
Yeah.
He comes at the angle
non-biased.
Yep. Right? Where for me, I want all the athletes to make as much money as possible, right? I want every organization to succeed. And I feel if this organization's got way more fucking money than this organization, hey, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah. We just need the sport to grow.
Yes. Why not? Okay, we're gonna switch the chat. Why not gi? Why not get behind gi? That's where you started.
Gi is so much easier for me. If we got around gi life, that's how you know I'm not selfish. Because I'm significantly better than the gi. You rolling me gi and no gi. What would you prefer? You have to fight me in a jiu-jitsu match. Gi or no gi, what's easier for you to do with me?
I'd rather do no gi against you.
Right?
Yes.
Because gi...
You locked me the fuck down. I can't do anything. You're so fucking strong. You grab my lapel. You boom. And I'm like,
if I had my way, wouldn't I be saying, "Oh, I only want to do gi super fights," right?
But why?
That's how you know I'm not selfish, right? now.
Yes. But why not? Why not promote more? Why would you like to see gi get to the point of no gi, where a guy like let's see, Jalen, your training partner at
he's amazing.
Amazing.
18 years old, just won Black Belt World. Shout out,
yes.
Jalen.
Okay, let's say he keeps on winning. Perfect example. Let's say he keeps on winning black belt. He wins it 5 years in a row. Then after everything's done, he looks at his bank account and he goes, "There's not six figures."
That's
in
the problem,
right? But why wouldn't you want to get behind gi? Like, hey guys, like, look how fucking good this guy is in the gi. Why not introduce more gi grappling instead of no gi?
I just don't know how that yields. Like, we're already in that problem with no gi people watching us. Gi, it's even harder. You know, like, first of all, we're in a robe.
Yep. So hey. Ryu and Ken wear a fucking robe.
Training in the gi since I'm 4 years old. I'm legally allowed to say this. I have the ground to say this. I love gi. I'm a gi person. I identify as a gi person still.
Oh, you know, fucking God.
When I fought Verasing yesterday and I'm fighting him, I was like, why can't this be in the gi right now? I want a hip grip. I want to bolo him to the back. Yeah. I was going double heave with the underhook. Yeah. If I just had a hip grip right now, I'd have the back. Like, this would be so much easier. Yeah. I have to freaking do all these leg locks and things. Like, yeah. But the truth is, we're already like, it's hard in no gi for us. Yeah. It's just another layer. It'd be so much harder. Yeah. Now, is gi more fun with the layers of it? The more complexity of it, like untangling yourself with lapels and sleeves. I think it's so much fun. Yeah. That's why I was addicted so many years. Yeah. But if we're trying to get people to actually do jiu-jitsu and grow, yes, they're going to have to do no gi at this moment, unfortunately. And like, for example, someone like Jalen would have to like switch over, and he already has good no gi, but I'm saying but he would have to like do IBJJF, get his titles, recognition, and then be like, okay, now do like Verasing just did. He beat Baby Shark in the gi. Yep. Then he won hands. Yep. Then he came and got that title and opportunity to go to no-gi and build his brand in no-gi. Yeah. And UFC did a great job building his brand as well, doing us with a show, right? Yeah. Watch, he goes, I only got 10 followers. God damn it. Okay, I don't know how many followers he got. Yeah. I don't know, guys. Yeah. Now they're going to be like, Mikey, but that's shit. He got no followers. But that's the goal, though. Yeah. Right? That's the goal for anybody. You get on a platform, you're hoping that you're going to get the opportunity to get. But that's why IBJJF, ADCC, all these things are so great, because that's what's going to build them to get on these platforms. Gotcha. But do you ever want to get to a place where you can put the same love behind gi grappling to get it to where it is in no gi? Because for me, I enjoy, obviously I'm a nerd, I enjoy watching gi more than no gi. Yeah. Right, like when it was the Adult Worlds, Jensen Gomez, Andy Murasaki, Tynan, watching Mayram, watching all those guys compete. But, okay, let's talk about Andy Murasaki versus Mateus Gabriel. Oh yeah. Who could watch that fight that doesn't know jiu-jitsu and understand what the hell's going on? But see, I feel you're a nerd though. Yeah, you're a jiu-jitsu nerd. But I feel like this. You're legally a jiu-jitsu nerd now. Yes, but when you, I'm right with that. But I feel like when you talk about like anime, right? When I talk about Jujutsu Kaisen, when I talk about My Hero Academia, when I start going down the path, I still have to watch the anime you told me to watch. That's okay, you'll get there. Yeah. But when I talk about that, if somebody's on the outside and they're like, man, I wish I was cool. I wish I knew who he was talking about. You either know, you know, right? It's like when me and him talk about, you know, wrestling, and we talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Dwayne Johnson on the bridge, and he goes, oh, just on time, it smells like a piece of trash. You either know that scene or you don't. So I feel like when you watch gi, you either know what the fuck's going on, and if you don't, you're missing out. I feel like you're missing out. Where for me, when that was on, I was glued. Like I was driving and I'm like this.
My wife was like, can you just wait? And I was like, babe, it's like watching a live update. I want to know if Andy's going to get that title or not. And then
I love how much you love Gi now. That's so cool.
Dude, Gi's
no, but it's so cool for me to see that from you, like such a legend of MMA, and now you enjoy Gi like that.
Because I feel
like how I did my whole life. Like that's literally how I was my whole life in the Gi. But that's why I could give you a different perspective, because I was like that my whole life in the Gi.
Yeah. But I hope one day, I hope one day that jiu-jitsu, no Gi gets so popular that people start turning.
I think we need the no Gi to actually get Gi popular. I do think we need that.
Yeah, I hope guys who compete their whole lives in the Gi, I hope if they win 2 or 3 or 4 titles, I hope when they look at their bank account that they can see 6 figures from winning world titles. Right? I hope it gets to that point.
Something interesting Hunter also said to me, he's a really smart person, obviously.
Yeah.
He's a genius. He said to me that it's going to take some time for fans to even learn what's happening in no-gi, right?
Yeah.
And it's way more simple than gi.
Yeah.
So maybe down the line, a few years from now, as we get people learning no-gi, that will get their brains capable of watching gi, you know? But I think we need this middle ground to do that.
Yeah.
I think that no-gi, the submissions are definitely easier for fans to understand, just like MMA.
Yeah.
Like the finishes are almost the same.
Yeah.
Not as cool like your freaking armbar from like when you went suplex the armbar.
Yeah.
But it's way easier for a middle ground for MMA fans. Like if you just watch highlight clips, if an MMA fan watches a highlight clip of these jiu-jitsu matches from yesterday, the 7 finishes, I bet they've seen many of those finishes before.
Yeah, and see those positions when they're watching maybe Marab or who else? Or let me think of another grappling ace in
Charles Oliveira,
like the calf slicer. How he gets in there. Me, they'll see snippets of it, and that's why I think they have that
Islam.
They have that
knowledge already.
The knowledge, but you see the layovers. Like,
but UFC already created people understanding submission just because of those in MMA.
Yes, the everyday mama pops who watch, like for example, my mother-in-law, she watches PFL, One Championship,
that's so cool.
Bellator, she watches everything, right? And when she watches grappling, she goes, "Oh, I see that. That's a rear naked choke, or that's a arm triangle." So she's getting the layers. She goes, "I've seen that move before. Now I'm just watching."
But they just educated people what submissions are.
Exactly.
So MMA has done a great job at doing that.
Yep.
Now we have to do it again.
You're basically getting a snippet of, in mixed martial, you're getting a snippet of what jiu-jitsu is.
Yep.
Now we're giving you the full product.
Yep.
Right, and that's where I think.
And that's what Royce Gracie initially did, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
introducing jiu-jitsu to the world.
And what was he in?
UFC 1.
No, he was in a fucking robe, as you would call it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a gi person. I'm legally allowed to say this. You can't hate on me. I did this 24 years.
I love the fact now when I play Street Fighter, like fucking Mikey said, Ryu, Ken, and Akuma are in a fucking robe. That's a kimono. That is a gi.
Kimono.
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 Yeah. So I mean, what's next for you, man? I know you're going to Hawaii. You're going to do all that. Like, will we ever see you? Well, I mean, obviously, your next match will be defending the world title in UFC BJJ.
Yeah. So definitely just work on my health. Less cortisol for like a few weeks. Like I've had way too much cortisol. Thankfully, the match yesterday, I'm literally not sore or anything. Like I just feel like I trained a normal day.
Yep.
Just get some sleep for sure. And get back from Hawaii. Maybe I'll compete in October next. Take a few months off. Yep. I think will be good for me. Just so I'm not rushing. Like I have no rush. Like I just want to like have quality more performances. You know.
Yeah.
Like I can't just keep rushing to compete. I don't think I need to right now.
Yeah.
Compete again in October, and yeah, just keep growing our program. We just did UFC BJJ 1. Definitely was a success. You know,
I would say so. Yeah, I enjoyed it. The wife enjoyed it. Like,
I think the format is a success, but also one thing cool about the bowl that we have, pit bowl. I'm legally allowed to say anything I want.
Yeah.
I'm not UFC. Yeah. I can't get sued.
Yeah.
The walls, they changed and made more slanted, more like a skate park. So what's cool about this is, like, let's say you have a double leg or something and you run up, you slip and you just fall.
So the guy who's running double leg, he'll slip and fall, and then this sprawl can happen.
And if you're on the wall itself, on the side, it's like this, you could do jiu-jitsu on it. And it's really interesting, like, to like pass someone on that. Or if you're playing guard on it to sweep someone, their balance is off. Yeah. So it's actually a different layer than the pit has. So it is a little different, which I said, the pit, Craig brought the pit.
From Karate Combat.
Yep. So Karate Combat, there's probably a pit before Karate Combat. Everyone just, but we all copy each other.
You know where this came from? I'm going to tell you where the pit came from.
Where did it come from?
Bloodsport.
Really?
Yes.
Like back in the day.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Have you seen that movie?
No, that's old school.
It's
though.
old school. It's old school. I feel like they find a pit, or was this just a flat? I think it might just be a flat. Baby, can you Google that? Google blood sport. You know, or it was a kick. I don't think it was kickboxer. They're in a ring. But I think I'm excited to see where this goes, to see if it does elevate the sport of jiu-jitsu. Do we see more athletes go the more exclusive way, or do they say, no, I'm going to stay non-exclusive and go around and compete everywhere else?
All I know is the path of jiu-jitsu right now, without these professional organizations, is just everyone taking PEDs every second and it being supported by everyone next to each other.
Yeah.
You know, so this is my only chance for us to actually change this, which Shachi was doing too. Yeah. Shachi, again, deserves a lot of recognition. He was the first guy trying to have all the different martial arts. Yes. The drug testing, professionalizing jiu-jitsu, creating legitimate money for jiu-jitsu. So he deserves a lot of recognition for this. Yeah. And he created this, now that competition of UFC coming in and also doing that. Yep.
And here's the thing too. I want to just switch gears. Talk to me about Qatar. Okay. I've had the opportunity to grapple with this man.
Oh my God, what a genius.
The first time I grappled him, I was like, okay, I didn't know who he was, right? That's what I love about jiu-jitsu.
When you were at FTCC, you didn't
FTCC, I didn't know who he was.
You didn't know who he was.
Didn't know who he was, right?
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to grapple him, right? Oh my God, he fucking
won black belt worlds like 5 times. I know. ADCC like 4 times.
Yep. And it's my producer, he doesn't understand.
The guy's an encyclopedia where wrestling, top, guard, anywhere. Yeah. The first guy to play K guard. Like literally my game, he's the first guy to ever do.
Yeah, he destroyed me, right? And then I was like, God, that was rough. That was an experience. And then I just trained with him recently in Nagi. And you know, oh God, he held me in one spot for so long, and I was like,
but you do this to yourself, training gi with us.
That's okay. Well,
you could just train no gi.
No, I want gi, and I laughed because I showed up and I was in this fucking robe. It was just so long.
Oh my God, I'm never gonna live that up.
He goes, dude, like, this is not fair. He goes, you have to have the proper, you know, gi on, so people can't just wrap you up. He goes,
if your sleeves are like over here on your hands, good luck getting out when someone plays spider or lasso. You're not circling your hand.
Yeah, and he was like, it's not fair. He goes, that's all that material. He goes, I'm gonna grab it, and you're not going anywhere, dude. Talk to me about having him in your corner and just his mindset. How like he's fucking good. Like
that guy is insane. So yesterday before my fight, I fought about 8 o'clock at night. Yep. He came to my house at like 10 a.m. and me and him just trained for 4 hours. Wow. And the guy is so sharp and smart that every spot I'm doing, I'm like, oh, what do you think of this spot? And then he's like, you do this, I'm out. Fix this. And then every spot we did that for like 4 hours. And then I'm like, what about this scenario? He just knows every possible scenario. Yeah. And I feel like I'm an encyclopedia of jiu-jitsu. Yeah. This guy is insane. So having that brain with me, it's just insane. You know, like, it's probably one of the only people that could tell me to do something and I just will not hesitate. Yeah. Like everyone else, even black belt world champions, they tell me to do something. I'm like, this will lead to this. Yeah. He says it, I'm with you. Let's do it. And that's what I felt like. After those 4 hours, I was so sharp. Yep. But then also, Qatar is just so good that when you train with someone that level, then when you compete right after with the person you're fighting, it kind of freaks you out because you're like, is the person gonna feel like Qatar just felt? And then you feel them, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. This is the match, like this is the opponent. Like they're all high level and great, but it's not Qatar. Yeah. So then instantly you just feel so much better. Yeah. So then it like, I like doing that before a match. I like messing up my perception. I always submit the match if I mess up my perception. Yeah. If I'm rolling with someone that's not that strong or not like just normal, I'll go into the match. I'm like, oh, this guy's strong. Yeah. But if I'm training with someone like Qatar, like another not human. Yeah. Like right before and telling Qatar, oh, make strong grips on me. Yeah. Do this. Then I go in. I'm like, oh, everyone feels weak. Everyone feels chill.
Well, when I grappled Qatar last, he had me and I was like, are these fucking hands? Like I can't break your, he locked up like this. And I was like, I literally can't break your hands. And it's funny because when I was grappling, I was like, dude, I don't think these are hands. He's so freaking good. And
well, he's 46 years old.
I know.
And he still fucks up all the adults.
I know.
Like, honestly, like that level of technical knowledge, like his brain's so fast and like, if you were just a fly on the wall watching us, like when he's like correcting things I'm doing, like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing a move on, what do you think? He's like, here, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then he's like, do this. And then I'm like this. And then he's like, good. And then we just do that over, but there's a billion spots to do that. So then everything I'm doing just is a billion times better instantly.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's crazy,
I think it's just like it should be illegal for me having that guy in my corner.
No. I mean, you had Gilbert Burns in your corner too,
for sure. And when I saw Gilbert, I cried. Honestly, I got really emotional. I was about to go out. Gilbert was commentating. He came up to me, and Gilbert I've known since I'm like 13 years old.
Wow.
So it's just very special. He gave me my black belt.
Yep.
So when I see Gilbert, I see myself as a little kid. And then the first UFC event ever, and he's there alongside Cobrinha with me. Like it got very emotional. Then I just a little kid again, like green belt Mikey.
Yep.
And seeing Gilbert. So it was really special for me.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people don't know how damn good Gilbert is in the gi and how many times he's won
Black Belt Worlds, beating all the best people.
Yeah, and people don't know. They only know from his days fighting in the UFC.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now that I'm in this venture of competing in the black belt, like some of the guys, when I look at who I compete against, the guy who won Worlds last year in my division, he was on the podium with Cobrinha when Cobrinha was competing. And sometimes like the fan base don't understand like how long the black belts have been competing. Like when you go against a Masters 2, he's been doing black belt since he was fucking 18.
The knowledge those guys have.
And it's like
on the mat so many years.
Oh, so many years. And so people are like, oh man, you lost.
There's so much TRT in the Masters divisions that you're competing with.
I don't think so.
Really? That's the joke that they make in the IBJJF, like with the Masters divisions.
Really?
You never seen the joke of that, like the stereotype that all the Masters are on like so much TRT.
I don't think
the comments will support what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would like to.
I didn't say it, but the comments will say it.
I would like to think that they're all clean, but then that's me being naive and just being dumbfounded. It's like, hey.
One thing I will say though, like the arguments of everyone in the UFC is on steroids. I train with a lot of the best athletes from the UFC, and they do not feel on steroids.
Well, I mean, no, they're not.
I think they just get tested so much that they can't be on at least when I'm training with them, right?
Yeah.
But they actually feel like regular athletes. They don't feel like that steroid feeling. Like I instantly know, you know. So when I train with all these guys that are like UFC champions, and I'm like, wow, they actually feel like regular athletes. Like they feel like regular humans. Like they're not like a rock.
Yeah.
Like, it's really nice to see that. I know that if we're in jiu-jitsu in this, that will be our path too.
Yeah.
Then the richer people could get steroids and take steroids. That's the argument. Okay, let them spend millions of dollars to cheat the system that they still have to get off for the fight. I'm okay with that. Let them get bankrupt trying to cheat the system so they can inject needles into their butt.
Yeah. Well,
and shrink their testicles.
Well, Mikey.
I definitely think that it's hard to like watch first if you don't know jiu-jitsu. But I do think that over time people will enjoy that more and appreciate more what I'm doing. And I don't know. Maybe I'll learn some takedowns.
If I was your coach, I was in bed. I
felt like when I started the match, if I would have like wrestled a little bit, I felt like I could have actually taken him down.
Yeah.
Like that after the match, like fuck, this is a match I could have wrestled a little.
Well, I always
laugh. It would have been more fun.
If I was your coach,
but I get so nervous. I just want to be winning the match. Like that's how my brain becomes.
Yeah. If I was Cobrinha, I'd be like, Mikey, the next time you drop down to a leg lock,
20 push-ups.
No, you're gonna be fucking fighting me, and it's not gonna be fun. That's what I would say. I was like, if you go down, let's say this is what I'll say. If you go down and you start, going to tear legs and all that stuff, and he falls back, and you're able to come wrestle up, and I'm like, you stay up, you pass that guard, and you do a different submission. The next time you drop on those legs, it's not gonna be good for you. That's what I'll tell you right there.
Bro, if it's you're just gonna start slapping me in training, then
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm like, Cobrinha, like, because that's what I do to my kids. Like, not my kids, but when I was coaching at a grapple club.
Remember your son armbarred me in Denver?
Yes, yeah. So
he has a win over me, your son.
That's right, baby. So one of the kids at the jiu-jitsu, he loved to do arm bars. That's all he did. Arm bar, arm bar, arm bar. And I said, you can never do an arm bar ever again. Do something else. And then his game I'm not saying your game's going to get better, but he started exploring triangle.
It sucks in training. I'm like so diverse.
So if I was in your, that's what I mean. Like when we grapple, it's like, I fall down.
I literally play more top in training than guard.
You actually do it. Yeah.
I'm more of a top player. I really am.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get to see that.
Yeah. But every match that I played top so far, even in UFC, like I passed in December, I passed the guy's guard, made him turtle. Yeah. Yesterday, I passed the guy's guard, made him turtle.
That's when you're supposed to take his back, put the
body
triangle.
And then I'm supposed to do all that stuff, and then I just stop.
And then you go back to your back.
But that just shows a glimpse of every match. I think percentage-wise, I think of all the matches I've done in Nogi, I think I passed everyone's guard that I played top.
Yeah.
If you look at every match I've done in no-gi, I think I passed everyone's guard that I played top.
Yeah. Well,
but I just stopped from there.
Well, hopefully you can figure that out.
Yeah.
And I think you will. So, Mikey, this is your opportunity to let fans know how they support you, what you got coming up next. The floor is yours.
I hope you guys enjoyed UFC BJJ 1 yesterday. I really appreciate everyone supporting us and even hating us. You're helping us grow the sport regardless. Like Craig talking so much crap like he does, it definitely gives us more publicity. So he's helping us at the same time, I guess. Yeah. You know. But yeah, Craig, don't come after me. I'm at peace. White flag. I'm chill.
White flags means you're giving up.
Oh, that means peace too, no? It's a peace flag.
I mean, Michael, what do you think?
It's giving up on the
I don't have beef with him. I'm not UFC.
Yeah.
I'm an independent human.
Yeah.
I just want the best for people. If Craig has an amazing event that makes a lot of money and people can make money from him, and God bless them. Awesome. Yep. I hope that for Craig. I hope he could grow our sport, and I'm happy if he's growing our sport.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow our sport another direction. He's growing the sport another direction, and I hope both of them help grow our sport. And that's what the truth is.
Gotcha.
You know, I have no stance against enemies, none of this. And if you guys please just support both sides if you want. You know, I just want us to have a future for jiu-jitsu, and I'm doing the best I can. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
Gotcha. Well, boys, there you have it. Here's our guest, Mikey Musumeci, Darth Rigatoni. Make sure you guys follow the man on his social media and everything he's got going on with the UFC BJJ 1. He's a brand new champion, the first inaugural bantamweight champion. I am your host, Demetrious Johnson. Right-hand man, Michael Wansover. Mikey Musumeci. We'll see you guys in the next episode of the MIGHTYcast. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the MIGHTYcast. And this is the part of the episode where we call the Mighty Recap, or we recap everything we just went through with our guests. And our guest was Mikey Musumeci. And dude, 2 hours of sleep, 2 hours of sleep, caffeinated up. That man was going a million miles an hour. And I'm glad we got to the bottom of like this whole, you know, exclusive, non-exclusive, UFC, BJJ, you know. For me, I like to come in the eyes of looking at it as unbiased. And I know jiu-jitsu has been around for a very, very long time. Like when we looked it up, 1998, ADCC, you know, you have CGI now, who's number one, BJJ Stars. You have so many different organizations, and none of them, a lot of them do stick around, but a lot of them seem to not have the same type of platform as UFC does. Obviously, the UFC has been around since 1993. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. It's owned by TKO. They're part of WWE. With that being said, now that the UFC is getting a part of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it feels like everybody's getting pissed off about it. Meaning that, oh, they're locking up all the athletes. And I'm like, well, the athletes don't have to sign a contract. We had an athlete on, and he was like, dude, you don't have to sign that contract, but I chose to because the money was more consistent. The money was better. And I'm glad that you stepped in to give a different viewpoint of this, because we talk about this all the time. Like, there's nowhere else for any athletes to fight, or nobody wants to watch any other organization when it comes to mixed martial arts.
Yeah, and I think the issue is this in and of itself is great. First of all, we're happy for Mikey.
Oh, 100%.
Just because someone that good at BJJ deserves to be a millionaire. Like, yeah. He deserves it. So I think I don't think he sold out, but if people are going to say he sold out, good for him. I'm happy. I'd rather be a sellout than underpaid any day of the week. So that first of all, but I think the what makes people have the reaction of some people don't like it is just more of TKO being behind it and seeing that they're trying to get the Ali Act removed in boxing. Yep. And you just see the Canelo Crawford stuff that UFC doesn't have a pay-per-view in September to promote this big fight. And you see Dana White is there, and they have, did you see the big Ring Magazine title?
I did not.
Yeah, they have this Ring Magazine title, and everyone's like, oh, look how they're trying to make, there's a prestigious title, which to give credit, it is a prestigious title. And so it's not just like what with Mikey, where we just saw his title that was completely created. It has no history, right? There's the Ring Magazine actually does have a history that goes back years and years. So I get that, but for me, I do see that vantage point of people being a little worried about, like, hey, like, let's say there was some random investor, right, who did this. No one would be saying anything. They'd be like, this is awesome. Yeah. But as Mikey said, they would go bankrupt. And then
he goes, see, I fucking told you guys.
With UFC, we know that we're not just getting excited about this and then it's going to go away. It seems like
it's going to be here for
they're
a long
invested.
time.
Yeah, so
they're
I'm
invested.
excited about that.
And here's the thing: when you have a company that's makes that much money, it could be a tax write-off for them, right? I mean, they have slap fighting, for God's sakes. How much money is slap fighting making?
If you compare it to slap fighting, this is a massive leap forward, a sport that actually deserves to be watched and competed in. And
nobody's complaining about slap fighting and having them sign exclusive contracts.
What are they exclusive from? Like, what is it preventing them from doing?
I think it's just an interesting conversation. That's why I love your viewpoint on this, because sometimes I'm too blind to see certain things, right? And I just feel, for me, when I look at it, like, there's so many guys in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu who compete and they win things and they don't have any money. They don't have anything to show for. You know, you do have the every once in a blue moon, like a Craig Jones, Gordon Ryan, you know, Baby Shark, Mika Gavoa. But I don't know if those guys are, you know, can they walk away from the sport? Can they be like, dude, I'm the best in the world and I made $200,000 from grappling this year. Not from, you know, what's I'm looking for? Instructionals, like from actually competing. Hopefully, you know, UFC, BJJ, or I mean, guys in one championship, they make a lot of money. I know Rotolo Brothers, they make great money. So I agree, Chachery is probably the front runner to actually giving athletes in jiu-jitsu the opportunity to make money from grappling. And now I think you have another player coming into it with the UFC. At the end of the day, it's good, and I truly think it's up to the athletes to decide if they want to sign that exclusive or non-exclusive. And I think with Mikey, he's okay with it because all the other organizations, on one championship they test, but all the organizations say they don't care about testing. They just
because testing costs a lot of money to be able to do that.
Exactly, where UFC has the money to do that. It's just, I like to play devil's advocate, where it's like, we should be happy for Mikey, and I truly believe Mikey is a pioneer trying to he feels deep down inside in his gut that he's doing the best thing for the sport of jiu-jitsu. I don't think he's in it to destroy it. I don't think he's in it to monopolize it. I think he's in it, and he's in it to make it the best sport it could be and how it should be in his viewpoint.
Yeah, and even with CJI, we're of course big fans.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We went to the first one and it was amazing.
It was fucking dope. It was amazing.
And I'll say that the pit is the best viewing experience I've ever seen. Yeah. In terms of, as a fan, you could see, it doesn't matter how high up you go. Yep. You could see everything because there's not this octagon where if you go to a UFC event, you really have to have the right seat.
You're looking through the cage.
But with that, it's just, there's a lot to love about it, but with CJI, the only thing is it's once a year, right?
Once a year.
And Mikey's saying they are offering him, if he wants you to compete 6 times.
6 times a year.
So that's a lot more opportunity than once a year.
If I had the opportunity, I can sign this exclusive contract and have the opportunity to compete 6 times a year, or I don't sign that contract and I'm non-exclusive, and I might get the opportunity to fight at CJI if I'm big enough, right? Or who's number one, and
you only get paid a significant money at CJI if you win.
You win. I mean, I think the first purse was $10,000, but it might get bumped up. But if you go to if you fight, at the end of the day, we don't know what the purses are going to be. But if, let's say the first year UFC BJJ is six events a year, all jiu-jitsu. Next year it goes, okay, first year was successful. Let's do 12 events. And then next thing you know, who knows? They might say, hey, we're going to do a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu show every single week before a UFC pay-per-view, right? It's like Friday night, Jiu-Jitsu, no-gi. Saturday night, UFC fight night. Then big pay-per-view, like International Fight Week, they just had BJJ 1. I'm dating this. Well, it's going to be next Tuesday, so edit this. Yeah. They do like this, International Fight Week. Everybody's here in Las Vegas, UFC BJJ 1. Next is the ceremonial weigh-ins. No, excuse me, the ceremonial Hall of Fame inductees. Friday, weigh-ins. Saturday, big International Fight Week. If they can do that around it, you're going to get people who are fans of UFC who are going to want to tune into that product of UFC BJJ because the brand is just so big. So I think at the end of the day, it's good for the sport. It's more eyeballs on the sport of jiu-jitsu.
No, 100%. But the counter argument of that is that they are already doing that with WWE. So it kind of becomes like, hey, here, you're TKO, and it's so, but it is what it is. I mean, they have the money to spend. And
imagine this. Imagine they put Mikey Musumeci in a wrestling match on Monday Night Raw. He comes down there with his glasses. I'm just saying, no, like he runs down there and he grabs somebody's leg, puts him in a sharpshooter. Everybody knows what a fucking sharpshooter is, right? And he's like, ah! His star power is gonna go from here to here. And
I think what they will do, which is more likely, is he'll be like front row for Raw, and they'll be like, oh, here's Mikey Musumeci, watch him compete. Yes. And that has been never happened in BJJ in America whatsoever.
Look at Michael Chandler. Remember when he made that, he was on Raw, and he made a comment about
McGregor, that never happened.
It never happened, but that's the start. That's the power of the marketing machine behind the UFC and TKO, is that they can truly take somebody and turn them into the star. I mean, depending on who the athlete is, but
and they picked, and here's the thing too, they picked the right guy. Like if they were going to be like, whoever picked him, it was Hunter Campbell or whoever it was, they did great scouting to be like, this is the guy that we want to invest. This new endeavor. We want to launch this UFC BJJ. Let's get Mikey Musumeci to be the face of it. I think that whatever side you fit on this debate, they did a great job. So, I think, and Andrew Tackett as well.
Oh, dude, he's fucking great.
So though having them both as here are our first two champions. Yeah, those were great. It's not like they just pick guys where BJJ enthusiasts are like, these guys aren't legit. Like, no, these guys are legit. I mean, Andrew Tackett did compete at CJI. He didn't win it, but I think he had his match was
he was probably one of the best of the tournament. And then now he's locked in the UFC. I'm excited to see what athletes, like, if they can, it's always funny when we talk about sport. You want the best. Phil Davis, he's talking about the best should fight the best. Well, sometimes the best doesn't want to fight the best, right? Like, I remember Charles Sutton, he was like, I don't want to fight the best guy. I want to fight the guy who sucks the most and have the biggest paycheck. But I think we live in today's age where you don't see the best fight the best. I mean, you don't see this champion fight this champion because of the exclusive contracts. But it'd be kind of cool to see if we could see the Rotullos fighting Andrew Tackett again on that rule set. Like, to see those guys being a big pull just to fight. Or Levi Jones. I'm a big fan of him. I mean, I think it's an exciting time for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And obviously, Michael Wanzover comes through again for you guys. A giveaway, Mikey Musumeci. He does not fight. He doesn't punch people in the face, but he dare.
Well, he is under the UFC banner now, so it's not as random having to go.
And he tears people's knees, so he's very, very dangerous.
He could tap. If that Volkanovski match, I love Volk, but I think
he would have tapped.
Yeah, that would not have been pretty.
Yeah. You guys will win these gloves signed by me and Mikey. Obviously, Michael's going to leave a description in the community page on how you guys can win it. Obviously, go to Spotify, leave a like, review, comment, get us up there. And make sure you guys leave a comment down in the comment section below on YouTube. Man, great talk with Mikey. That is it for this episode of the Mighty Recap. I am your host, Demetrious Johnson. My right-hand man, co-host, Michael Wanzover. We will see you guys at the next episode of the Please help me welcome Taker. Well, Taker, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for giving me the opportunity to, interview and chat with you. And the last time I saw you in action was WrestleMania, and you come in there and you choke slam The Rock, right? Me and my boys are watching it, and growing up, I didn't have a father figure, and it was just me and my brother, and we would try to watch wrestling as much as we could because it was Monday night, and then it was a Thursday night SmackDown. So watched you growing up. Actually watched you live in Key Arena. You and Kane came out, did a little skit, but recently we saw you at WrestleMania. You come out there, you choke slam The Rock, and then the lights go dark again. Walk me through that, because for a while there, you weren't as active in wrestling. So how did all that transpire? You get an opportunity to come back and choke slam the final boss.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting story. So I had events scheduled in Philadelphia where WrestleMania was held this year. So I was going to be in Philadelphia. I get a call. I think I was leaving either Wednesday or Thursday of that week to head to Philadelphia, start fulfilling my commitments to, what WWE and I had discussed, personal appearances, things of that nature, right? I think it must have been late Tuesday night. I get a call from Triple H, and he goes, "Hey," he says, we're thinking about this thing." I said, "We don't know anything yet, but your name's come up about maybe getting involved in this thing." And I was like, really? Like, okay, I'm going to be there.
Yep.
I said, he goes, well, you know, there's nothing set in stone yet. It was really vague.
Yeah.
I said, look, I said, this is where I'm at with this. I said, if there's something that I can do that will not distract from what you're trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's on board with it, you know, I said, hey, I'm there. I'll be happy to do whatever. He goes, all right, man, I'll get back with you. You know, we'll discuss it. And so it's not mentioned again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I go to Philadelphia. I do my show. I do everything else.
I don't know how long. So what was the time frame when he called you and then until the actual event? Was it 2 weeks out, a week out?
No, he called me the week of.
The week of. So Sunday, he's talking to you, goes, hey, I'm thinking about you
Tuesday. No, this is Tuesday.
Okay.
I leave. I think we left the next day.
Okay.
So
you're there.
Yeah.
Nothing. You don't even know if you're going to do it or not. You're doing your thing. You're doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got no clue. I'm like, they'll call me if they need me.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about it. I had a busy schedule of appearances and everything. Saturday, you know, it's a 2-day deal now.
Yep.
So Saturday, that's like one of the first times that like I'm up in a suite with my family and my friends and everybody. I'm enjoying, you know, WrestleMania and I'm watching the show like everybody else. So Saturday goes off. Same thing for Sunday. I had one thing to do Sunday. My kids love wrestling too, so they want to watch all of it. So Sunday, I'm sitting in the suite. I'm sitting in the suite with my family and friends and watching it and, you know, waving at people like everything else. And all of a sudden I feel my phone going off and I look at it. And I'm like, I put my phone up. I said, I'll be back in a little bit. So I tell my wife, I said, I'll be back in a little bit. She knew what it meant.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't tell anybody else. I didn't tell Matt. I didn't tell any of my buddies.
You didn't tell the kids?
I didn't tell anybody. That's just, that's how I operate.
Yeah.
So anyway, I go downstairs and, meet with everybody and figure out, what the deal is. And boom, that's how fast it happened.
And so there was no rehearsal, no nothing. Really?
Nothing. No.
Wow.
No.
What did the kids think?
Oh, they'd lost their minds.
Oh, I can only imagine. It's like, they're watching WrestleMania with their
where'd Dad go?
Yeah, exactly. He goes, honey, he's with the go pee. He's getting older, small bladder, whatever. Next you know, you come out and it's like, what the fuck? It's Dad. And you make your appearance, no hiccups whatsoever. Yeah, you slam him. And then once you slam them, you disappear. Yeah. And then when you go back up to the to the suite, what everybody say?
Well, so by the time I came back out, because that was the last match of the night, so I didn't go back up to the suite. So my family had already been brought back down to the ground, and everybody's looking like, what the hell was that? You couldn't give us a heads up. And I was like, I figured you'd enjoy it better if you like that instead of me telling you. And they were like, holy hell. Like, I was wondering, like, dang, he was here and now he's gone. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it happened, man. I mean, it was put in my ear on Tuesday and then nothing else was really said until
the night of.
Until the night of.
And not the night of, but when did that phone call come in between? What point in time did it come in before you went down there and wrestled that match?
I would say I probably had an hour.
Hour?
Yeah.
An hour, one of the biggest events in the world. And you get an hour heads up like, hey, you remember what we talked about on Tuesday? Come on down, dog. Let's get you shooting the booty. Get ready to go to work.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go with it. Let's go.
Oh my goodness.
Right. What do you need?
What's going on, guys? This video is, it was amazing. I think that was one of the matches that I was smiling from ear to ear because I feel like, me growing up, I felt like wrestling was it was great entertainment. You had storylines. You had these, these characters that were so idolized. Your brother Kane. You had, Shawn Michaels, Triple H. You had the DX. You had Wolfpack. You have so many different like storylines. And now, at one point in time, I kind of fell out of wrestling because I didn't feel like they had that same type of characters that made me want to watch. And then now we're starting to come back and they're like, you see it. And like when I saw you come out, and then I see Dwayne Johnson come out, and then him, he's cussing. He's like, I told you I don't fuck around. Get back at it. It's like you don't see that nowadays. Now you're starting to see it a little bit more, but you didn't see that. So I loved it. So thank you so much for making that happen super fast.
Yeah, man. It was good for me because I've had a really difficult time like with real closure. Like my body's the reason why I don't wrestle anymore, right?
Okay.
Like in my mind and my heart, I would love to still be out there.
Oh,
but
make me tear up. Ooh.
Yeah, no, but the body just, Father Time is undefeated, right?
Yep.
And I knew that I couldn't perform at a level anymore that what people expected of me.
Absolutely.
And so I didn't want to become a caricature of myself or so. I knew when I did the Boneyard match in 20 like it was, I don't know, maybe 4 or so in the morning as we're filming that. Like I was like, dude, you're done. Yeah. Your body is you've got everything out of this body that you could possibly get out of it. And it had been difficult for me to actually like go to shows, like I'm still an ambassador for the WWE.
Absolutely.
But I would go to live events and, I could hang around all day and be around the boys and all that. But like when the show started, I would usually, after, a match or two, I'd have to leave.
Yeah. Cause your heart's probably, you're like, oh, I miss it.
I miss it. I should be getting ready. And, that for whatever reason, that kind of gave me the closure
that you needed,
that I needed, because I did it, and when it was all said and done, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
My mission is complete. I'm good with where I'm at. Not to say that I wouldn't do something like that again.
Of course.
But I don't have the burn.
Yeah.
To get out there and get in the ring. Like I did. And so that was, so it was twofold. It was a surprise, and then it helped me like transition out.
Lay that athlete down.
Yeah.
Right. I think every athlete's ever going to go with it. Whether people want to consider you an athlete, I consider you an athlete because what you do, it requires a lot of choreography. It requires a lot of athleticism to really get out there, pick somebody up, to fall and all that stuff, to get back up and do it over and over and over again. So obviously there's a beginning of your career. Now, walk me through what got you into wrestling. And I felt like for you, you had one character. Like you were always Taker, Undertaker, right? Or correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I had a few other characters. It was just, I think it was kind of unheard of for someone to stay with one company for as long as I did.
Of course.
Like once I became Undertaker, it was Undertaker for 30 straight years.
Wow.
And which is kind of unheard of in the wrestling industry.
I think in any industry, movie industry, anything.
Right. So I was a basketball player, and
well, you said a basketball player?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a basketball player.
Talking about you were a basketball player.
Yeah,
you're going to the NBA. You're going to be dunking on Shaq.
No. I was a basketball player, but I knew where my ceiling was. I still had so I was in probably my junior year, going into my senior year. It was the summer.
Yep.
And my coach had started getting some inquiries from like some European teams for possible tryouts after I had graduated. So, what they're telling him is, hey, have him start to put on some weight. The European style is really, really physical, so that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm at this gym and I'm working out and I'm trying to get a little heavier and stronger. And I meet this guy at the gym. He's a couple years younger than I was. And every day I'd come in to work out, and he would be like, "Hey man, I'm gonna do this wrestling camp, and you should do it with me." And I say, I don't know, man. I'm thinking about playing some European pro ball or trying out. And it was the same conversation every day. I would come in, and I think one of my biggest attributes is really knowing what my talents are and what they are not.
Yeah.
I have a very clear picture of what I can do and what I can't do. So the more I think about it, I'm thinking like, I'm 20 years old. I'm going to be 21. I said, do I really want to be the 12th man on a bench in Lithuania? Or, I mean, I knew where my skill level was. And the thing is I was a huge wrestling fan as a kid. Oh. I mean, but as like everybody else, when you get into other sports and everything else in life, I kind of got away from the product.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking about it. And now I'm trying to kind of start to catch up with the product and watching things. And one thing that I noticed right away is like, there's nobody that's my height that's just not like just huge. They're not athletic. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, you know what? Maybe I ought to give this a shot. So now I change from trying to add weight to be a basketball player to now to fill out my frame to be a professional wrestler. So, I mean, I couldn't eat enough. I couldn't, work. Everything changes, but I'm still under scholarship to play basketball.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because they were trying to set you up to go to Euros to play basketball.
So I show up to school my senior year, and I think I was 280 pounds.
Damn.
My coach.
How tall? 6'2"?
No, I'm 6'8".
6'8"?
Legit. Yeah, legit 6'8".
Damn.
So the coach looks at me and is just like, he bars me. Like, he was an old school coach, right? And he equated size with slow, being slow.
Of course. Yeah.
Which, and to be the truth be told, I was faster. I had my muscle twitch fire. Yeah, everything was much better than it was. Anyway, he bans me from the weight room. I mean, it was ridiculous. Yeah, it was totally ridiculous. But like, I had a target on my back, like just right out of the get go, and so I get banned from the weight room. I can't go work out, and so we start butting heads right away, and now I'm going to school. I've got basketball practice, and I'm training to wrestle. All this is going on all simultaneously. And the more that I'm around the wrestling, I know this is it.
You're starting to gravitate towards. You're like, I can do this.
I'm getting that burn inside. Like, this is my deal.
Yeah,
this is going to be it for me. And but I still felt like, I owed it to my team to try and make it and play. They we've been through a lot together, and so I was going to try and make it through the season. Well, we're at practice one day, and we were doing this drill. He lines half of us up. We're all at midcourt. Coach throws the ball up. It's like a tip drill.
Yep.
And then it's a hustle drill. Like you tip the ball and then
break to the ball and
break to the ball,
get your defense on
and recover the ball. Well, everybody's terrified of me, right?
Yeah.
At 280.
I was going to say 280, 680. Okay. I think they would be scared of you.
And we're talking the late 80s, where there wasn't a lot of basketball players were like still just like reeds.
Yeah.
They all look like KD, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were
little rails, tall rails.
So everybody's scared to death of me. Well, this guy, coach throws the ball up, and this guy, he undercuts me, just cut my legs right out from underneath me. And I went down, but he was so light in the ass that he went down too.
Yeah.
Right. And I sprung up, immediately, and I walked over. I got up and I went and I stepped on him, man.
Big ass foot.
I stepped right on his chest and I said, "You MFer," I said, "you ever undercut me like that again, I'll break your freaking neck."
Yeah.
Galloway, get out of there. Coach throws me out of practice, right? And it was right then I knew. I was like, it's done. It's over.
Wow.
And I'm having this moment, right? And he's screaming at me, but like it's like I can. You
can hear him.
I can hear him, but I can't hear what he's saying. And I'm having this moment. And then I just took a deep breath, and then I went to each guy on the team, and I shook their hand, and I apologized. I said, but I got to go, you know? And I did that to every player, and coach is still screaming and hollering the whole time. And then I started walking toward the gym doors, and I could hear the guy, like, Coach, he ain't coming back. He'll be back. Through the doors I went, and you know, it got really difficult after that, because you know, now, because I mean, I was on full scholarship, and now, you know, I'm on my own. You know, I had to start figuring out, you know, ways to make money, and you know, so I'm bouncing in clubs and doing whatever I had. I'm living in my car half the time.
While still doing the wrestling stuff on the side. Like you're doing the wrestling school. You may be doing a couple matches here and there.
No, I ain't even got to a match yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm still in the process. Now, the guy that was supposed to originally, the guy that started training me, basically, he stole my money and left and goes to a different territory, right?
Wow.
So now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get trained, and because it's in my blood now. Like
I mean, you've already committed. Basketball is done, right? You're just like, done. Well, here we go. And you said when you were doing the wrestling, you had a little something come up, and you had that fire, and you're just like, wow, I'm starting to gravitate to this. So you're in the between of the weeds of trying to be a bouncer, make ends meet as a college student. Yeah. You know, when did you get your first big break where you're like, all right, here we go? You know, first off, what was your first character? And you're like, all right, here we go, baby. Let's see if we can do it.
So let me think. So my first, well, I have to go back. Like the first character that I was, or the first character that I actually made money.
We gotta start, because when I first started, you know, I had a name, and it was Black Ice, because I was slick. I would move. People like, you know, Black Ice is something you get hit by, and you don't know where it came from.
Exactly.
And then everyone's like, you know what? You're not gonna be Black Ice because it doesn't fit. You're black, and you know, we're not gonna do that. And I was like, shit. So for you, what was the first one that, you know, you want to see?
I'm gonna say the first one was, I think I was the powerhouse. I was the powerhouse, and then kind of at the same time trying to work for another guy. When I finally start getting like these independent promotion kind of deals, where basically what you're doing is just getting in the ring, because that's the most valuable thing. Is ring time, and it's not everybody that has a ring. And then, you know, obviously, you know, you're trying to learn a craft, but you're learning a craft with people that obviously aren't talented enough to be in the bigger clubs or in the bigger companies. Yeah. So you're having to I'm trying to figure my way.
You're basically learning as you're going.
Yeah, you're learning as you're going, and you're just, you know, you're not making money. A lot of times I had to pay to get on a show, plus the driving and whatever, a gas money. Finally, I started going to, so this was kind of in the Dallas, Fort Worth area. Okay. And this was the world-class championship wrestling. And that was the Von Erichs. I had this idea. I found, I'd met a couple of wrestlers through the gym. And, you know, they told me, hey, they come in and they do bookings and whatnot, and the guys come in and get their checks on Wednesday. Okay. So for every Wednesday.
You know when they got their checks, so you know they're going to be there.
Yeah. So every Wednesday, I would go to the offices where they had the wrestling, and I would sit in the lobby. And I'd sit there, and like the booker, the one that like made all the decisions, he would come in. And I'd go to sit up, and they would never stop. They just walk right by me. Wow. Yeah. This went on for like 8 months. Just, I would sit there every week, and I was like, man, I was at my wit's end. Like, I was like, this isn't working. I don't know what else I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of the last couple of times that I was going to make this trip because I couldn't even afford the gas anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Who walks through the door was Fritz von Erich.
Mm.
And he was the one that owned the company and did all that. Here's the thing. He walks in, and so he's standing at the door and he's staring at me.
Yeah.
And and I'm looking up at him, and it's just like, so I start to go to get up again, and then he walks into this, he just turns and walks into this other office and asks the guy that was in that office who I was.
Yeah.
And I could hear him like, he said, no, this kid's been coming for months. He's just trying to get a booking.
Yeah.
And Fritz had a really deep, gravelly voice. And I heard him say, well, let's book him Friday night.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I looked like his oldest son.
Oh.
That he had just lost. We really looked similar.
Yeah.
And I heard him say that to, the guy's name was Branko Lubitsch. And he said, let's book it. He looks like David.
Mm.
And I hear that,
Yeah.
And then he came by, and I get up again. He just walked right by me. But I showed up, and that was the start. And so I showed up Friday night, and I was Texas Red. That was the first name. That was the first time I got a paycheck.
So Powerhouse was the very first one,
right.
And then Texas Red was
Red.
the first paycheck.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then from Texas Red, then I went to South Africa.
Wow.
For like 4 months. I wrestled over there.
That's crazy. So you finally get your first paycheck as Texas Red, and it's in Austin, Texas. It's in Texas, right?
Yeah.
And then you're in South Africa.
Yes.
Absolutely fucking crazy. It's that's like somebody, oh, hey, I'm fighting at the local casino. 4 months later, hey, I'm in South Africa fighting. Like, how does that even, is that just, the promoter taking you all over the place?
Well, so at the time that I debuted there for World Class, there was a guy there. His name was Steve Simpson, and his father ran a promotion in South Africa, and he saw me, and they were only going to book me for like a couple of weeks there.
Yeah,
and so he asked me what I was doing next, and I was like, I'm free.
I'm here, man.
I'm young and dumb. And
yeah.
So I end up spending 4 months in South Africa.
And how old were you at the time?
I'm 21.
Amazing.
22, maybe.
I love that.
Yeah.
Texas Red and now South Africa.
Yeah. Right in the middle of apartheid too.
Oh, wow.
So it was a different South Africa than it even is today. And it was the wild, wild west, man. It was crazy. The things that I saw and just, man, it was like, I've been like, I could handle myself, and like, obviously, bounced and did whatever. But the bars there, like,
I can only imagine. Here you are, you're 6'8", 20, 22 years old, right?
Yeah.
Red Texas. You're going to South Africa. You're there for, you said, what?
4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm going to a foreign country as a young gentleman, and I don't know nobody there. I only know the people I come here with, and I'm here for 4 months. I can only imagine. And this was the 80s, correct?
Yes.
The 80s.
Yes.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it was like.
It was absolutely nuts. So I went over there with another guy that had been there before, and I met this guy. We end up meeting we hook up in Belgium, Brussels. That's where we meet, and then go from Brussels down to South Africa. And so he's telling me, I know people here. It'll be good. So he takes me to this place. It's called the Club Continental. Downtown Johannesburg. And he's, hey, Big Tex, come on, I'll show you. He's introducing me. He's going to introduce me to everybody. So we go up this high rise, not a hotel, but it was a high rise building, and this bar was, I don't know, maybe up on the 20th floor of this thing, right? And you come off the elevator, and it's the front end of it's the door to the club. There's like a bar, and then there's the actual nightclub. And normally over here, that's where you like have a coat check or what, where you can get you hand your coat and you get a right? Yep. Well, they had gun check.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like,
let me just put my 9 right here. Put my Glock right there. I'll be back for it.
And that's what they did, right? They patted down everybody, and if you had a gun, you got a number, and at the end of the night, you get your gun back. It was just
Could you imagine it like, hey, you get in a tussle in the club, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and leave. You're pissing me off. You're like, I need my gun back, and you turn back around. And I was like, I'm gonna kill you, you son of a bitch.
Oh man, it was. I tell you what, the absolute very best street fight I ever saw was in Johannesburg.
Wow,
it was 2 hookers. I kid you not. It was right in the middle of the cross street too. And there was like, it wasn't any hair pulling. Yeah. I mean, these girls were they sat, both of them just sat in a pocket.
Just fighting.
Just duking it out.
Wow. Man. They fight for some dick then. I
don't know what they were fighting for. Yeah. But I tell you what, so this cop comes by, right? Yeah. And these cops carry these wands. They're about like that, and they're made out of fiberglass. Ooh. They're like a whip. Yeah. And he started,
whipping them?
He had told them to stop, and they wouldn't stop. Man. Yeah. After those first 2 licks, they had all they wanted. Yeah. But it was crazy, man. It was absolutely nuts over there. And then I come back after my 4 months there, and it was kind of in the same situation of trying to find another gig.
So let's fast forward to when you got that first opportunity to wrestle for WWE. At the time it was WWF. Right. And you land the name Undertaker. Let's jump right there. When did you get Hell Undertaker? And you got your opportunity in the big show, because at the time that was one of the biggest shows. I know there was WCW, there was NW. Well, I believe NWO and all the other ones, but I feel like WWF at that time was NWA. I thought it was NWO. That was a game.
NWO comes later on.
Coming on. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So, WCW. Okay.
Yeah. So I I end up going to WCW, and then from there, they tell me, straight to my face, I went in for like a contract renegotiation, and they basically told me, he said, hey, you're a great athlete, you're a phenomenal athlete. He said, but there's no one ever going to pay money to watch you wrestle.
Wow.
Like, well, that pretty much tells me I've hit my ceiling here, right?
Because you've always been based on your ceiling, like okay.
So fortunately, I end up getting a meeting with WWF at the time. Yep. Have that meeting, and at the time they didn't have anything for me. Yep. Like any openings, and so I end up going and doing a read for a movie, and I do this movie, and I come back, and then I get a call one day from Vince, and it was like, hey, is this the Undertaker? And I thought, I thought it was going to be a completely different, like really goofy kind of deal. And I'm thinking, oh, this is, this is the Undertaker. I have no clue what Undertaker is or what it means.
Oh, so he called you, is this the Undertaker?
Yeah, and he that's how he addressed me. He didn't call, hey, Mark, this is Vince.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
He said, is this the Undertaker? I was like, yeah, okay. Can you be up here tomorrow? So they fly me up to Connecticut and show me they'd had it on like storyboards, the look and the idea. And, it was just, that was it, man. That was, that was the gift, and they let me have it. And
so basically they kind of like, where I'm looking at, it's like, hey, we want you to come back, Mark Undertaker, and then here's our concept art that we think you'll match this character really, really good.
Right.
And then, because one of the games I played when I was growing up, it was a WWF game, and you were one of the characters, and you had, your hair was down, you had the black the black cutoff, and you have black jeans, you had the purple gloves.
Right.
And then when you would hit, and then it was like a combination game. It was on PlayStation 1. And then you would do like an ultra combo. You're like, ba, 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 ba. Then after you get done, you go, Undertaker wins. And you hit their body. And when you hit it, it'll, and then bats will come out. And so essentially, I don't know if you ever played that game, but that was the concept art that they basically presented to you. And you're like, I'm all in. Let's get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It was something like I'd never seen in wrestling before, which was really intriguing to me, that I'd be able to do something that no one else had done.
Yep.
You know, there's a real stereotypical, that wrestling interview, like, hey, let me tell you something, brother. That's the kind of it was nothing like that.
Yeah.
And it kind of hit my wheelhouse. It was like, yeah, this is good. And I was in the right place at the right time for that. And here we are.
Wow. That's absolutely crazy. Now through your career, like when they brought in your henchmen, right? Like, was that something they presented to you before that? Or they're like, hey, we think this would be good with your character, The Undertaker. We're bringing your henchmen.
Oh, you talking about Paul Bearer?
Yes, Paul Bearer.
Yeah. Yeah. So originally, I had my manager, they brought me in with Brother Love. But Brother Love, his name is Bruce Pritchard. He actually was he was on the creative team.
Okay.
And so he was trying to make the towns with me. Back then we traveled all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be out 30, 40 days in a row. Wow. And, he just couldn't cover both of them. So they had to find somebody else for me. So they find Paul Bearer, name's William Moody, and come to find out, this is just how everything works out the way it's supposed to. He was a legitimate funeral director.
Really?
He had a degree in mortuary science or whatever the degree is.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a legit.
So
he's a legit
perfectly.
Undertaker.
Wow.
And so yeah, what was so good about it is like he had all this insight into like language that I could use and like talking. If I talked about embalming somebody, I knew exactly what a chokar or whatever to use.
Yeah.
So it was a really cool mix, and he had a really high voice, and I had a really low voice, and it was just it was meant to be.
Wow. Now let's talk about, like, I feel like now when you watch wrestling, everybody has, back when I watched, when you were in your heyday, everybody had a special move, right? You had the choke slam, Shawn Michaels had, the sweet chin music,
right?
The pedigree, tombstone, powerbomb, right? Now you got everybody doing sweet chin music and everybody. What made the choke slam your special move? Like, what did you come up with? You're like, you grab somebody, boom, you're like, okay, this is my special move. Because now you see somebody, oh, choke slam. It's not the same. Like when you choke slam somebody back in the day, it was like, that was it. It was a 3 count. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just through the evolution of, I think, of the business, guys would move on and retire, and then guys would start using the guys that retired their moves, and then what used to beat somebody now is just a moment in time.
That's what made me mad. Where I'm like, my kids are like, oh, super kick, and I'm like, that's not a super kick. Yeah, that is sweet chin music. That's what that is. He goes, no, that's. I was like, let me show you who brought this to the table, right? And it's the same thing with choke slam. It's like you made that move, cool, and I'm sure somebody before you did it, but they didn't really brand it as the finisher from the Undertaker.
Yeah, they didn't protect their. It's just what we call it, protecting your finish, and we were really diligent about protecting our finishes back then, and now everything.
So when we talk about protecting your finish, like let's say somebody's like you're in the back, you're about to warm up, and you see someone, they go, "Oh, he just choked him," and that guy comes in back, and you're like, "Hey, motherfucker."
Yeah, we're gonna have problems. Yeah,
Shit.
That's when it gets real.
I love that. So you guys will protect your finish, as in like, guys,
don't use. Yeah, it's just. I mean, there were a lot of fights and a lot of things that happened back there if you use somebody else's move.
Because it was like you said, like it was you were the only person choke slamming. Maybe Kane would do it too because you guys were brothers, right? That was like the script, but. You know, or Sweet Chin Music or the pedigree or tombstone. None of that stuff. It was like very, very rare if you saw it done by somebody else. But now, like you said, today's business, you're seeing everybody doing it, right? It's like, it doesn't have the same feeling when I'm watching. I'm like, oh, well, it's just, you know, when I first started watching, I was like, oh shit, it's choke slam. And then it's like, what?
And they kick out.
He's out of it. I'm like, guys, you know, that was like a death sentence. Like if you got hit with that.
Yeah.
And so you guys would protect your finish.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just a different era in the business now. And people, they don't do that like that anymore. They'll give their same finishing move 4 or 5 times in a match. And so it is where it is. It's an evolution and everything's constantly evolving, changing. So
let's talk about the business. When you look at WWE now, like I feel like it's probably one of the greatest entertainment you can watch on television today. And this is coming from a guy who's fought for 18 years in the UFC. Like when I watch WWE, it's, you know, I enjoy it. I sit there, I follow the stories. Even when you were competing, I follow the stories. Like, how do you view the sport today? Like where it's at? Like, is it in a good spot? Is it in a bad spot? Is there things that you're like, you know what? I think they can use a little more X, Y, and Z. How do you feel about where WWE wrestling is in general? Because I know you got NXT, you have AEW, you have WWF, not WWE, excuse me. How do you feel about the sport today?
They're breaking records every time they go out.
Yep.
I mean, every pay-per-view, or they're not called pay-per-views anymore. Now they're premium live events. Yeah. Right. Everyone is bigger than the year before.
Yep.
They're selling more merchandise. The business is absolutely booming right now. And, you know, do they do it the way I did it? Nope. But it doesn't matter. You know what? I mean, again, we go back to the evolution. The evolution of the wrestler and the performance is different.
Yep.
But evidently it still resonates with the audience today because WWE arenas are full. Yeah. The premium live events are being sold. Merchandise is crazy. I mean, the business itself is just in a phenomenal spot right now. I think wrestling, you know, I think there's something for like everyone, within the family. You know what I mean? If there's, you know, even if you don't actually like the violence of it, there's the character, or you know, or if you didn't like that, there's the storyline, the drama of it. So, you know, there's something for, you know, and the athletes themselves now, they're like video games.
Yeah.
They do things in the ring that I would have never.
You're like, nope.
I don't know. I don't think I had the vision to even think of like. I don't think so. No, I don't think I would have ever even thought of that. I think it's because of the video game era and playing, you know,
the video games. You see it in the video game. It's like, oh, I could probably do that. Let me go to the gym and train it. Gotcha.
Exactly. And you know, there's nothing that I can say that like they should probably be doing this because they're killing it.
Yeah, they're killing it.
They're killing it. Wise. The only thing that worries me, because I know the physical shape and condition that I'm in, and the things that I've had to do since I've been in the business, is I worry about their longevity because of how much they continue to push the envelope. And what ends up happening a lot of times, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier about like the character development, and is there was a time period there where the character development was really lacking.
Yeah. I feel like that, yeah.
And the athleticism part was there.
Yep.
So they started doing these crazy moves to
compensate for there's no character. This guy can do all these acrobatic stuff, but it's like, cool, you're acrobatic, but nobody cares about because they're not attached to your story or your character.
Absolutely. And then what they end up trying to do is like, okay, well, after 2 or 3 times of seeing a double backflip twist off the top rope to the floor, your audience gets desensitized to that.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen that. What do you got now? Now you have to push the envelope a little bit further.
Yep.
And there's limitations to what the human body can do.
Absolutely.
But if you can get them invested in the character, you either got to make them love you or you got to make them hate you.
Yep. And you can show up and walk down the aisles like, come on, and not do the triple backflip, right? Because they're so invested into the character you have presented to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the kind of the one thing that I wish as a whole that there would be more of, just because, you know, what most people don't realize about wrestling, and, you know, you'll have like, obviously, you know, you're a professional fighter, but you appreciate the art or the, you know, sports entertainment. But what people really don't realize is that within any given match on any given night, you're 2 inches away from something catastrophic happening.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know, and regardless of how much, you know, training you've had, it's just, and then when you think about the number of dates per year that you're working, that risk factor goes up exponentially. You know, and when you're doing double backflips off of the top rope into a group of people, it only takes one time.
Yep. Well, I mean, let's talk about you and how were you able to do that for 30 years at a very high level, right? We talked about a little bit off camera about like you're trying to keep your body healthy now. Let's talk me through like why were you able to compete at such a high level for 30 years? And, you know, like you said, you just did something at, you know, WrestleMania. Granted, it wasn't a double backflip, but you orchestrated getting in the ring when those start, securing a choke slam. Like, you have to pick somebody up. It's just not easy, right? So how are you able to do that for 30 years?
One, I look at my career, I was very blessed. And I didn't always take the best care of myself either. Yeah. You know, the 90s, I burned the midnight oil, and but fortunately, you know, as I started to get older, I started to take better care of myself. But even with, you know, taking better care of myself and you know, not so much, you know, consumption and everything else. I mean, I've still had, I'm standing around 17 or 18 surgeries that I've had to repair different, you know. And
that's just over time, wear and tear of the body.
Some of it's wear and tear, some of it's acute. I mean, you know, injuries that happened in the ring. I've blown out both eye sockets in the ring.
How do you blow out your eye socket in the ring?
you get hit too hard. It's just like it's just like, you know, I mean, it's just like catching one, right? The first one I got blown out, I was wrestling. I don't remember. You remember Big Mabel? He was like 6'8", but he was 500 some odd pounds.
No, it does not ring a bell, but that's a big ass boy.
He's a big dude, and he was coming off one rope full speed, and I was coming off the other side full speed. And what he was going to do was clothesline me, but he was behind in the spot because he was gassed. And so he just kind of lunged. Instead of hitting me with a clothesline, he just kind of lunged. So I ran full speed right into a fist. His fist, you know, it hit me here, and then it slid up into my eye socket. It blew out 90% of my orbital floor.
Wow. And you continued the match after that?
Yeah. And then I wrestled like 3 more days before I actually went to a hospital and found any of that out. And then, so like one of the biggest guys in the company did it. And then I actually had a match with Rey Mysterio, one of the, you know, the smaller guys. And he went to do, I think he calls it the senton bomb, where he jumps off and like his legs go this way, and his ass is supposed to hit on your chest, and it drives you down.
Yeah.
Well, his ass hit me right between the eyes, right? So that one blew out the other one.
Oh my goodness!
Broke my nose, concussed me. Yeah. So that was fun. There was 3 Rey Mysterios running around. And I was like, it's got to be the one in the middle. It's got to be the one in the middle. But it's funny watching that one back, especially with my kids, because I set my nose back right there. Like I was sitting there and I was like, oh crap, my nose is broke. So I squeezed it back straight somewhat. Yeah. And like there's like 3 of him moving around. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is, just
built different. 17 surgeries over a career of 30 years. And obviously
33, 34. They're about 35-year career, but counting before I got there.
I would say, is that pretty good? Are those odds good, or are those pretty bad?
No, that's I mean
35 years, 17 surgeries. I mean,
it's there's some guys. It's funny. Like there's some guys. Everybody gets hurt. Yeah, I mean that's just part of the game. Anything where you use your body, you're going to get hurt. I mean, but there's some guys out there that have just really been able to evade the injury bug. Guys like Chris Jericho and there's a few others. They just never got hurt. And
God bless him. God bless him.
Yeah, exactly.
I've only my teammate Bibiano. He's been grappling since he was a baby in the jungle, and he just now had his first surgery after. I mean, maybe 35 years of competing. First surgery, he broke his hand in a fight. And I was like, that's your first surgery? I don't hear no bitching and complaining. Right. No, I've had, surgery on my shoulders and whatnot. And it's just crazy. So 35 years of competition and only 17 surgeries. And how do you feel now? How does your body feel? Are you doing like, sauna, cold plunge? Obviously, your nutrition's probably the best right now. Yeah. How are you feeling right now as an athlete?
I feel, for the condition I'm in, I'm pretty good. Yeah. I'm still, like I said, I'm just about a year out of having both knees replaced.
Okay.
I had my hips done while I was actually still working.
Wow.
So that part is good. My spine, I've got some issues with my spine that cause me like mobility issues.
Have you lost any of your height?
Yeah. I've lost.
So you can spare some. I'm 5'3", so you still look like a fucking giant to me. So you're good to go.
Yeah, I'm probably lost a good inch and a quarter. Yeah.
Do you miss it?
Oh, I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah. For someone who's 5'3" an inch, go a long way in my life. All right, 5'4". Woo! Watch out, world.
Yeah. But. Like I said, now I take better care of myself, and I'm not under the constant trauma, of getting thrown around every night. So, it's funny. Like most people, and they think, it's all entertainment. Well, yeah, it is. It's entertainment, but the body is not built for what we do.
Yep,
it just isn't. It is not built to do that. And especially like I had a 7-year stretch there where I averaged over 200 dates a year on the road.
Yeah. See, I know we were talking about your odds, 35 years, 17 surgeries. I'm going to say those are pretty high. You had good odds in your favor, right? Because if you're wrestling, you said 7 years of 280 nights you were wrestling. That's incredible. I think for how much you put on your body and only have 17 surgeries, I could not imagine that in mixed martial arts terms. 280 nights of competing. Granted, yours is choreographed. You guys take care of each other, but still 280 training sessions.
Right.
And, a 7-year span, like that's unfathomable in MMA that you'd probably be at least 40 surgeries in, depending on your body genetic and your body. If you were blessed to have a strong body to carry you through that many matches. Yeah. Right. So I think your odds are pretty good. They were in your favor.
I think too. Well, I mean, being in the fight world, you had that many fights. I think your brain would be more. I mean,
I went training sessions. Fights are different. Training sessions, I still think, even if it was a training session, I was like, hey, we're going to wear headgear. I mean, obviously your brain would be more concussed than usual, but still, I mean, could you imagine 280 like football scrimmages, 280 volleyball scrimmages. Like
it's a lot, man.
Wrong, like you said, one wrong move, boom, ACL is gone. Right. And then, so I think your odds played in your favor. So that's incredible.
Yeah. I'm okay. I mean, when you think about it, like, damn, that's a lot of, you look at your body and you're like, damn, I don't remember that scar. What did I do there? Oh, this shoulder. Yeah. I don't know supraspinatus on that side. Yeah. Okay. It's good stories though.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing the stories with us, man. I think one last question before we let you go. So one of the things that recently that I've come into me, like I was into wrestling, like in your day, I would say probably like the early 90s, early 2000s. And then I kind of stepped away from it. And then a gentleman by the name CM Punk comes into mixed martial arts, right? And then now he's done with mixed martial arts. Now he went back to wrestling. And my kids are like, oh, it's CM Punk, it's CM Punk. Right. I'm like, yeah, he's not a good fighter. I don't know what the big deal is. I'm like, why is he such a popular wrestler? So what can you tell me that made him so popular? If you followed his story in the wrestling days, like what made him so popular?
So he was a wrestler, not an amateur wrestler, but he was a professional wrestler before he went to MMA.
Gotcha.
And he came from up like in the independents and kind of built his name up. And he was one of those guys that he wasn't one of the system guys. He was an outsider from the indie world, really great interviewer, like on the stick.
Okay.
Like, yeah. I mean, he could really, he could evoke emotion from you. So he had a big professional wrestling name, and I think, he had a falling out with the company, and I think he wanted to try
mixed martial arts.
Gotcha. Brock had done it.
Yeah.
Brock was a 2-time NCAA All-American.
So he had a background to where when he came, he was destroying, became a world champion. Yes. So when CM Punk came to MMA, I'm like, oh, this is a random guy. He used to be a wrestler, I guess. And then he's coming in, and now that, he didn't do very well in mixed martial arts. And then he went back to wrestling. Yeah. And my kids are like, oh, it's CM Punk. I'm like, guys, that guy can't even fight. I'm so confused. And that's why I was like, where did he get, like, how did he become popular? I guess I was kind of confused.
Yeah. He became popular through professional wrestling.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he tried mixed martial arts, and that didn't turn out real well for him.
And then he went back to wrestling.
So he went back to professional wrestling, and his and Brock's story are a little different.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would say so. Definitely different.
Yeah. But Brock, I mean, Brock, like I said, Brock is a genetic freak of an athlete. Yeah. And he had a really, really good wrestling base to start with. So, I don't know what Punk's, what his backgrounds were, but obviously, and then he cut down. I don't know what he fought it.
I think 170, if I had to guess. 170? Definitely not 155. I'll have to say 170. 170, yeah.
Yeah. So,
gotcha.
Okay. He's back where he's back where he should be.
Yeah. I mean, the kids love him. I mean, he's very good at, like, the fans love him. And I was always curious about that. And my kids were like, oh yeah, you should ask the Undertaker, what does he think? I was like, okay, I will, boys, I will. So I wanted to pick your brain on that.
Yeah. Not. It ain't for everybody.
Yeah, I hear
it. Sometimes we need to stay in our own lanes.
Yeah, brother. I hear that, man. I've never tried anything like I said, when you're talking about the ceilings, right? I knew when I played basketball, there was a ceiling, obviously because of height, disadvantage. When I played football, there was also the ceiling for me. But then I found my calling in mixed martial arts and all that stuff. But it's I think when people stick in their own lane, they seem to find success where they do their things they love.
The one thing though with that, that at least with Punk, I do respect the fact that he tried it.
Absolutely.
Like, that the fact because he had a huge name in wrestling before he tried mixed martial arts. So, I mean, he had really nothing to
lose.
Well, he had nothing. Well, I mean, I don't know that he had a lot to lose because that was his moneymaker was and then you go over there and you get your ass handed to you. But I had a lot of respect for him for the fact that he gave it a shot.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was something that he wanted to do.
Yep.
He did it. It didn't work out.
Yep.
And he's back where he should be. And, you know, everything's right in the world, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
hey, I love it. Now, is there anything that the fans, you know, obviously, thank you so much for giving us the time to come on the MIGHTYcast. Now, is there anything you have coming up that the fans should be looking out for? I mean, are you going to make any more special appearances where we're going to see, the lights get dim?
Well, I'm like Houdini with that stuff. I'm not going to give you away all my secrets. So I'm also out doing the One Dead Man show, which I will do August. Well, the day of SummerSlam.
Okay.
I'll be at the Agora Theater. I think it's August 3rd.
Yep.
I'll be at the Agora Theater in the afternoon before the premium live event, doing the One Dead Man show. And then you can check us out on 6 Feet Under.
Okay.
Me and Matt Lyda doing our podcast, faking it till we make it.
I think you made it. I think you guys made
it. With Matt, he's always surprised. He always has a surprised look on his face when I come walking through the door. So
it's like, I'm glad you made it today, Mark. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah. So we'll it may become harder once college football season starts for me.
Now you say you got a show. What's that show about?
So the One Dead Man show, it's kind of like a podcast. It's me, just telling different stories, different things that have happened in my career. The show constantly changes,
of course.
But what I normally do is it's a 90-minute show. I usually prepare about 45 to 50 minutes of my own material, and then I'll open up the floor and do a Q&A with the people that are there, and then from there we'll wrap it all up. And
I love it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's a great way for me to stay engaged with the wrestling audience.
Absolutely. So, I think I had an interview with somebody else, and I'm at a point in my career where I'm trying to focus on building the podcast, but it's you being able to participate with the community today, with the wrestling fans,
right,
without you getting hurt. Right.
Yeah.
Without you getting in the ring, where you're like, hey, I still love it. And these are the stories that got me to this day. Like me hearing the story about you being in South Africa for 4 months. I would never know that. Right. That's the thing I love about doing this, that you get to know the people you grew up watching. There's one thing to watch it on, on an autobiography, but they actually come to live and hear the words come from your mouth.
Right.
It's absolutely amazing. So I think the fans can enjoy that, that episode. It's going to be in August 3rd.
Yeah, August 3rd at the Agora Theater in Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, sir. You want to say something, Michael?
Yeah, I was going to just have one question.
Okay. We like to, Michael, he has one question for you under there. Right. Come on in.
What do you got, Michael?
So one question that was requested, our friend of the show, Ariel Helwani, he's asked you about this, but we want to hear your side of things. What happened when he was interviewing you ringside after Brock Lesnar? I believe he went against Shane Carwin.
I think you're at a loss for words there. You want to do it? It was Brock Lesnar right there.
What happened with that
was
situation?
Cain Velasquez.
It was Cain Velasquez?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that situation, what was the backstory of that? Because us as fans, there's been a lot of urban myths, urban legend about it. What really went on with that while you were talking to Ariel Helwani cage side?
So I was there basically to pick a fight. Not necessarily a fight I could win, but
like an MMA fight, or
no, hell no. I mean, do I look stupid?
That's fucking hilarious. You said not MMA fight.
Are you kidding me? The vanilla gorilla? I dubbed him that a long time ago. No. So Brock had mentioned that he might be wrapping up with his MMA career, or thought that he might have enough juice with Dana to he could do both. And so yeah, that's why I was there. I was like, well, let's test the waters.
Yeah.
And see if there's any buzz.
Yeah.
And like I was like, crap, man, he just got smashed. I don't think we're gonna do this. And I'll be damned if he didn't come walking right by me. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, I was like, you want to do this? And it was like the world went crazy. Like, and you know, bad thing about it is like Dana had no clue. So I was like, it made me look like a real dick. Cause you know, I thought Dana knew all about it. And
so you guys are trying to orchestrate something. That's
I was trying to like,
gotcha.
we thought everybody was on board with the thing. And then it just like, oh gosh. And then he stayed for, I don't know, you know, he stayed for a while longer. So it didn't happen for like years down the road that, you know, that we actually got in the ring.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's all I was there to do, was just kind of test the waters to see if there was any interest in a Brock Lesnar Undertaker match somewhere.
Hey.
Turns out there was, because I'm sure you get asked about that just all the time.
Yeah, constantly. Yeah, it's anybody that has anything to do with MMA was like, wait, what was that deal with you and Brock? And I was like, and that was always my answer. I was like, I was there to pick a fight. That was, you know, pick a fight, test the waters, just, you know, see where your market is.
Hey, I love it. There's a lot of people who try to do it, that cross promotion stuff where they try to fight each other, and you know, come from different areas and backgrounds. So I love that.
Yeah. So you know, Brock was another one who he had already had a huge run with WWF, and then, you know, he tried football for a little bit, and then he ended up in MMA, and so. And by that time, he was already, you know, he
became the champion, and then he lost the belt. And then I don't know if he was a champion at that time. He beat Shane Carwin the second time, I believe. I think he got him with a triangle choke, and then he lost it to Cain Velasquez.
Cain beat,
Cain beat him. That's right. So
yeah.
How often do you watch MMA? Are you trying to watch the pay-per-views?
Oh yeah. I don't go. I think that was the last one I actually went to. It's just so much easier to sit home in front of the big screen and get up between rounds and go get something to drink or eat. And, you know, there's nothing like the feel, you know, of being at a big fight. I mean, that atmosphere, it's just, man, it gives you goosebumps when you're there. But I just rather kind of stay at home now and watch it. But I'm still big fan of it. Yeah.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this episode of the MIGHTYcast. First off, I want to give a huge thanks to the Taker, Mark. Appreciate you coming on the MIGHTYcast and sharing your stories with us, man. If you guys have an opportunity, go check out his YouTube channel and check out the One Dead Man Show.
So the One Dead Man Show is my live show that I do, and then 6 Feet Under is the podcast. 6 Feet Under
is a podcast, so make sure you guys check that out. If you guys enjoyed this episode of the MIGHTYcast, please leave a like, comment down below, and hit the bell so you know when we drop another banger. We will see you guys at the next one. Go, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Mighty Recap, and we just got done having the Undertaker, Mark, on the MIGHTYcast. And man, what an absolute legend. Never did I ever think we would get the Undertaker on the MIGHTYcast. It was a great opportunity for us to go down to Texas. I was on his podcast, and then he returned the favor. We just turned around, changed the set, and we did the MIGHTYcast. And I think the biggest thing about talking to, Jesus Christ, you're fucking with your mic and doing all this shit left and right. You leave your fucking mic alone while I'm talking.
So I'm not gonna be. I'm not supposed to be on camera right now.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm not gonna just be sitting there in the two shot, like
just fucking
you're talking the whole time.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. One of the cool things I felt about talking to Undertaker, Mark, was just to hear his story, right? I felt like when I watched wrestling, Stone Cold Steve Austin, before he got into WWF, he had a couple different versions or characters. A lot of people go through different characters, like Cody Rhodes, he went through a different character. Jey Uso, same thing. A lot of these guys go through different characters. And Undertaker went through a different character. But then when he landed the Undertaker, to hear that story, how Vince McMahon called him and said, "Is this the Undertaker?" And then he goes, yeah, it is. And then him to go to Vince McMahon's office and see the concept art that they had laid out for him to portray this character in a WWF at the time, now it's WWE, was kind of crazy because I thought he came up with it. And then his henchmen, you know, the Ministry of Darkness and all that stuff, to hear that story was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, and I get to do. Yeah, I'm lucky the job that I have. You know, I work with in and not just saying it to blow smoke up your ass, but who I consider the greatest in mixed martial arts history. So I get to do that every day, and that's awesome. But it's not every day that you get to see someone who I've been a fan of since literally I can't even remember, maybe 5 years old, 6 years old. So just getting to go there, shake his hand, do the podcast, take the pictures. It was fucking surreal for me. Like I'm not gonna try to play it off, you know, be cool and all that shit. It was absolute pleasure and couldn't have been a more chill and nice dude. And just what I thought was cool was that he was a fan of you. So I mean, that's how, just so people get some backstory, if they think, wow, this is a random collab. No, it's because we were talking to his co-host after. His name's Matt, great guy. He actually lives in Georgia and he flies out for the podcast to film with Undertaker. And he was telling us, like, do you understand? He loves talking to fighters. Yep. He would rather talk to fighters all day than wrestlers because he was working with wrestlers for, you know, 35 years. Yeah. He's much more interested in talking to fighters or, you know, some of the other interesting guests he's had that have been out of the pro wrestling landscape. So I thought it was cool seeing him notice what we're doing, notice what you're doing, a fan of your work, and, you know, really wanting to talk to you I was just wowed by the whole experience. Great experience. Make sure you guys watch his DJ's podcast whenever they drop it on the 6 Feet Under podcast as well. Because as DJ said, we went back to back, but just, you know, people say don't meet your heroes, but for me, at least, it went extremely well. Undertaker, just an awesome dude.
Yeah. And I think the cool thing I love about it, you know, we've both been fans of his since we were kids. Obviously, you're way more hardcore wrestling fan than I am. You know everything about all the wrestling guys. But I think the coolest thing that when he started talking about protect your finish, that is something that I feel like it's a lost art in today's wrestling world, right? Like everybody's doing, you know, super kicks. Everybody's doing, you know, all these moves where now I can't remember the last time I saw somebody chokeslam somebody. I think it was maybe Damian Priest. But back in the day, Undertaker said that we will protect our finish. If someone went out there and did a choke slam and Undertaker was there and he saw it, they would have problems. They would have a fight in the back because he's protecting his character. He's protecting his mystique, his aura when he go out there. And we knew if he landed that choke slam, it was game over. If Triple H would have landed the pedigree, it was over. If Shawn Michaels or The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin landed their special move, it was a wrap. Spinneroonie, it was a wrap. Nowadays, it would take fucking like 4 crossroads or 4 Superman punches to finish somebody. So I think that's one thing that's been lost in wrestling, that when I watched it, if Undertaker landed the tombstone or the chokeslam, it was a wrap. And to hear him speak about protect your finish was very eye-opening because I always wondered about that. Like, go ahead and do my finish. Hey, Bob, hey, Kane, go ahead, chokeslam somebody tonight, right? Like, he was like, nah, dog, don't do that shit. Do your own stuff.
But that's why it was such. We went out to dinner afterwards, and it was just a great time in Austin. We got ourselves some steaks, but that was something we also talked about of what made Kane such a big deal when he debuted, because you did not see motherfuckers do choke slams or tombstones, or Undertaker would be on your ass. So it was a big deal having a dude come in and like, oh, he's also doing the choke slam. He's also doing a tombstone. So I agree with you. It's a lost art. It's when to see someone, the depths that he went to keep that character popular, the sacrifices he made in his life. He's not talking to fans when he sees them on the street. He's not taking selfies or photos. Like he's having to wear black. He's having his long hair down. He's probably wearing a hat to cover his face because back in the day, you thought Undertaker was a dead man. I mean, you literally thought this dude was, you wouldn't just see him out as a steak dinner sitting there as, you know, Mark Calloway like we know him now. So to see him go from that guy who was basically forced to be quiet for 30, 35 years, do a podcast now and be fucking excellent at it. It's kind of like you, right? Like people didn't know you could talk at all until you got later in your career. Like,
I'm a fucking mute. I'm like,
yeah. People just thought that you were like, okay, I'm showing up, I'm this MMA fighter, but now it's like, shit, you actually have a personality. You can do interviews. Same thing with Undertaker, just such a great storyteller. And you would not think it for someone who was forced to be this stoic dead man for 30, 35 years. Yeah.
Well, I think it's just the evolution of an athlete. I mean, him being 6'8", started off like, that's the crazy thing when he said he started off playing basketball. He was actually a basketball player and he knew his ceiling there and he was in college.
I love how you're like 6'2", and he's like, no, 6'8", 6'2".
Hey, as we all know, guys, when you're 5'3", 5'3 and a half, everything looks big, right? Like 6'8".
Yeah, and let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's put up the picture right now. It is us side by side with Undertaker. The height difference is pretty damn staggering.
I bet you if me, you were probably on each other's shoulders, we probably wouldn't be able to, you know, it would probably get close, relatively close, but 6'8" is massive. I think the biggest thing that was cool about Undertaker was how he started out in basketball and he knew his limits in basketball. And then after that, he went into the wrestling and that really driven his fire in, you know, in his athletic career. And then to have that conversation with him where he was like, you know, I never had closure until he did the WrestleMania with Dwayne Johnson and chokeslam him on night 2. Like that was, you know, absolutely amazing to hear because I you know, as an athlete, you know, I talk to athletes all the time. When I talk to GSP when he retired, when I talk to Uriah Piper when he retired, he's like, you get a short amount of time to be an athlete. And then once you're not an athlete anymore or a professional fighter, it's gone. And for me to hear his story about how he laid the Undertaker to rest was pretty inspiring because I know one day I'm going to lay Mighty Mouse to rest and be like, okay, hey, you know, I'm not that same fighter. I still are going to compete in jiu-jitsu because I can do that till I'm like, 55, 60, as long as my body's healthy. But like you said, it's the heart and the mind. They think they can still go, but the body, Father Time is undefeated. And I'm glad that I'm recognizing it and I'm hearing it from my peers as well.
Yeah, and one thing I also wanted to talk about when I brought up the infamous Brock Lesnar Undertaker spat with the Ariel Helwani cage side, I thought it was funny when he's like, I was looking for a fight, and then I asked,
I was like, you said you're looking for an MMA fight? He goes, fuck no, I'm looking for a real fight.
But the reason why I asked is like Brock was not contracted by WWE at the time. We didn't know he was going to leave MMA and do wrestling, but I guess Brock had known it's getting towards then because that fight, I mistakenly said the wrong fight. It was Cain Velasquez, so he obviously got finished. So that fight, Brock probably knew, okay, I'm reaching the end of my MMA career. He's such a genius that he knew I need to get a story with Undertaker. Yep. I'm going to do something real, make people think we really hate the shit out of each other. And then that will help whenever I do come back to WWE's. But I got a little bit confused with the storytelling. And I just thought like, wait, were you trying to fight this dude in MMA? Because like an MMA fight or?
No, hell no. I mean, do I look stupid?
That's what I thought. I thought he wanted to do MMA, but that's like I said before, man. And I'll continue to say this. This is why I love that me and you have created the MIGHTYcast and this podcast because here we are. We traveled. We're traveling now, and we just did Undertaker, one of our, heroes or big fan of him that we watched growing up, and to get to know him as a person and hear the stories about him. Navigating his career, hearing that he had, he was an Undertaker for 30 years and he had 17 surgeries between all of his wrestling matches and the blood, sweat, and tears that he's done. Now he has 4 children. He has his youngest, a 4-year-old. It's like, we'll do another podcast with him eventually because I wanted to talk to him about the financial side of wrestling. Like when he made his first check, what did he do when he started making, you know, millions of dollars? Even to this day, he's, you know, enjoying himself doing the podcast, traveling around the world. He's got another show coming out. It's like more of a storytelling show that it's going to be debuting here pretty soon. Like, just to
it's going to be his one-man show. It's going to be this Saturday, SummerSlam Saturday. So you guys, if you're going there and you're in town for SummerSlam, you can see his one-man show as well, which, as I said, he is such a compelling talker, which you would never expect. So I'm sure if you're in town for that SummerSlam in Cleveland, I would check that out too.
Exactly. And I think the biggest thing too is how he's been able to navigate. Now he's still, like, I remember you telling me, I was like, dude, he's still making money off his merchandise for WWF.
Yeah, like look at this.
Look right there, right? Yeah. Michael just picked it up on Amazon Prime just before we went out and saw him. So, you know.
No, I already had that. I already had that. Like I said, I already had that shirt because it is, you know, I know a lot of people watching are probably like, oh, he's a wrestling fan. I'm an MMA guy, but it was my first love. And when it's the closest thing, like if you're like an Avengers fan, right? Like maybe for your sons, like you're never going to really like meet Captain America or something or Iron Man. But for the Undertaker, it's like, this is the fucking Undertaker. Like this is fucking crazy. I never would have expected to meet the guy, especially with how secretive he was. But now he's, as you said, he's laid that character to rest finally, and I think he's able to be like, okay, I'm good to go, and I could go in the next stage of my life, and he's crushing with that too because their podcast. I'm telling you guys, 6 feet under. 6 feet under, it's killing. They don't need our rub of helping them out, but subscribe to that podcast just to hear some of his stories. He's a great talker for a guy who is just kind of the dead man for all those years. He's a great talker.
Yeah, I was like shocked. He was funny as fuck too. Remember he's talking about Blue Chew? And he was like, yeah, we're sponsored by Blue Chew. And he's like, you want to have sex? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because just to give some people backstory, we sat there and we're like, oh, could you guys just wait while we record some of our sponsors? And he's just so natural with it's Blue Chew and Mando was one of them. Like that's kind of my biggest takeaways, like living legends like that. Just such an aura about that guy. And the craziest thing is he still has that aura. I mean, I'm going to be honest, like you saw him in person. I'm sure you still felt that aura. I mean, he's a big dude. He's still in terrific fucking shape.
Yes.
Like, I mean, his arms in the podcast they did, he was wearing a tank top. Like his arms are massive. That dude is every bit of, as he said, 6'7", 6'8", and he wasn't even wearing any huge shoes. So I could see why for so many years, just one of the most, in terms of iconic WWE or even pro wrestling characters, it's up there.
He's a GOAT. He's one of the GOATs, like him,
Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, you got to have him in that top five.
Booker T, one of them too. Yep. Like, because he had a unique look. Even Booker T, like we had him, we had him on a podcast. We haven't dropped him yet. But
this will drop before Booker T. But keep an eye out. Great conversation with Booker T. That's also going to drop soon.
But like for him to be, me growing up, an African American on the biggest stage of wrestling, I know everybody said, well, Dwayne Johnson was black too, but like he it is what it is. But I felt like I resonated more with him and his story. Like iconics. These guys are all icons. And Undertaker with the purple gloves and the black and the long dress hair. And then him talking about rolling his eyes in the back of his head. He didn't talk about it in a podcast, but I remember listening to him talking about I roll my eyes in the back of the head. And I was like, I'm going to try it. And he tries it. And everybody was like, dude, that was awesome. Like him just just flowing and just feeling the vibe of the wrestling match was, what made him so special. He would always improvise when he would be wrestling. Like when he fought, when they did the WrestleMania, I think it was 39 with Cody Rhodes and Dwayne Johnson and all that stuff. He says, I got the call the night of. And he was like, hey, we're going to do that what we talked about. And then he goes down there and does tell his wife to tell his kids. And he goes out there and performs, chokeslams Dwayne Johnson, and then disappears. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I think, once again, shout out to the fans, because without the fans, this podcast and this channel wouldn't be shit. So thank you guys. And I just love the work that we're doing. And we're just doing an amazing job to have the Undertaker on. And
no, thank you guys, because you made my life. I don't even need to do anything with this. I'm gonna retire after. I'm gonna go with the Undertaker. I'm done. I'm just taking these headphones off. I'm done.
You're fucking fire.
I met the Undertaker. It's down for me. I'm out. See you guys.
Michael, come back. Who's gonna edit this video? We need you, Mike. Michael.
No, I love you. I love you guys too much. I'm back.
So
I went into the void for a little bit, but I'm back now.
Went into the void. Make sure you guys check out some of the Mighty merch. Get the void hat. I don't think the void hat's available. I think that's only your hat.
Oh wow! If the void hat, we're gonna get like just an uproar. What the hell was it?
If we get an uproar that the void hat is not available for you guys, we will make it available for you guys. But Michael, we went through all the concept art of season 1 of Mighty merch. The void hat was something that Michael specifically said he wanted, so I had it custom made just for him. But if you guys want the void hat, I'll make sure to put that up the lineup. I talked to the producers. There's a void shirt right there. So, but all in all, I think it was an amazing episode. Ooh, look at that. The void. Mighty. Yes. All in all, I think it was an amazing podcast with The Undertaker, Mark. Yeah, man. So make sure you guys go give him a follow his podcast. And
I forgot too. We should talk about, we call an Uber. This dude from Nigeria pulls up, and he is just a huge fan of the podcast. Like we're not just like trying to act cool. Like he wasn't going up just saying, "Oh, this is Demetrious Johnson." The first thing he says is, "I love the MIGHTYcast,"
Yes.
and we whole Uber ride just talk about the MIGHTYcast. So that show is going to Austin, Texas. Some guy from Nigeria, awesome dude. If he's in the chat, let us know.
Hey,
yeah, we hooked him up with a void shirt when we got to the hotel.
Yeah, like I said, man, I always tell Michael, chat that or viewers that I'm proud of us, because when we started, let me give you guys some context. When we started the podcasting, it was supposed to be me, Henry, and Michael as a producer, and it was supposed to be what, the Goat Talk. Well, Goat Talk was the show, right?
Yeah, Goatcast,
and it was supposed to be me.
I have a shirt lying around somewhere. It's worth like $1 million now. He's just an unreleased shirt.
You're all looking at it like, what could have been. But this was supposed to start as the Goatcast, and it was supposed to be me, Henry Cejudo, doing a podcast, and basically doing a podcast with just whatever me and him wanted to talk about. And I think the first pilot episode did what, 356,000 views, right? Like, it did really
very
well. But obviously,
you guys have amazing chemistry, but
yeah, and obviously it didn't work out. We had differences, and then I was sitting there talking to my wife, and she goes, "Babe, why don't you just do a podcast? Like, why don't you and Michael do a podcast?" And we're like, okay, let's do it. And then now to see that the MIGHTYcast is becoming so popular, obviously thanks to you guys, thanks to the team's hard work, Michael, the producer, also the editor, and then we also have Nick Pappas as another editor. And then we have Sammy, who makes those amazing social media clips to get you guys excited to watch the MIGHTYcast from Instagram and Twitter and YouTube Shorts. And then we also have our boy in Morocco, Med, who's making these banger fucking thumbnails. Like,
he's the MVP of the team, if we're being honest.
Yeah, he's the MVP of the team because yeah, I'm just proud of us, because this was never in the cards to do something like this small team we have, and I'm always proud of us. And yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this episode of the MIGHTYcast and the Mighty Recap, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. Also, hit that motherfucking bell to know when we go live. I am your host, Demetrious Johnson. That is my co-host with his nasty ass tongue, Michael Wandover.